Knock, knock. Microphone check. 1, 2. Channeling my inner Grinch. Anyways, welcome aboard to This Exists. Yeah, I thought to myself, you know what? I was bored, and also this week's going to be kind of a slow week when it comes to uploads, considering that I kind of got bamboozled a little bit when it came to releases for the weekend of August 18th, so I only did the Horrendous and Spirit Adrift reviews. So, yeah, no under the radar this week, but to make up for it, gonna talk with you guys for a little while, and hopefully we'll get some guests in here. Well, speaking of guests, we got one of those guests right now, and his name is Damage Inc.
What's up, dude?
Oh, none, just Bard.
Yeah, same here. Been a while since I've heard from you, man.
Yeah, just been a busy little bee.
Yeah,
and a miserable bee too.
Yeah, I saw the 2013 thing you were doing earlier.
I know, and you told me I'm missing something.
I was like, yeah,
some
you were
of
like,
those,
yeah, I was
some
like,
of those.
Yeah, I'm like,
some of those, like the other Queensryche, terrible. I don't.
Yeah, the Jeff. I'm probably gonna be reviewing that because I've been doing a review series for a 2013 album, and I wanted to talk about the Jeff Tate one because I'm like, I've wanted to talk about
first.
Yeah, that came first. I wasn't going to touch the other Queensryche one, the one with Todd, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk about that one, unfortunately. I'd rather talk about the Jeff Tate one. But I had that. I'm like, I mentioned, where's Halloween? Where's the Trivium album? You had the Dream Theater there. You had the Dark Throne in there. But I'm like, what else is there? I said, I mentioned Bring Me the Horizon. Before they went to shit. That was before they went to shit. I mentioned... Who else did I mention there? I mentioned Rotten Sound, even though it was more of an EP.
It was an EP, not a full length. Not a fully culture full length.
Yeah, I was almost about to mention Newstead, but he did an EP before the full length.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, who else did I forget to mention that I mentioned? Well, there were so many. I'm like, where are all those albums? Like, come on. Yeah. Devil Wears Prada. They put one out. And on a major label of all things. They were on Roadrunner with that album.
I know there was one big one I missed and I didn't notice until afterwards, and that was Ghost.
Oh yeah, Infestissimum. I forgot that one.
But I was trying to not go completely insane. I feel like I already went insane. I had like 18 matchups, so I'm going to have to whittle everything down tomorrow whenever I'm at work.
Yeah, it's like, I was just like, I mentioned a good amount of them. Like, I'm like, where are those albums? Like,
but I had a lot of other crazy ones in there too.
Yeah, strange thing. I got that Halloween album. I'm actually holding it in my hand right now.
Was it Straight Outta Hell?
Yeah, that was released in January. I'm like, where the hell is that album at? I mean, come on.
I'm not the biggest Halloween guy. I mostly like the old stuff, like the 80s material.
Oh, I was curious about them, and hearing Straight Out of Hell when he came out that year, I'm like, my God, I freaking loved it.
Let's see. Chuck Crystal and Mr. Death Metal. That almost rhymed.
Yep.
But the reason I say I've been kind of miserable lately is because last night part of my tooth chipped off.
I've had that feeling.
I got a cavity on the tooth next to it, so I gotta plan a dentist trip.
Yeah, I've had that feeling before. I had that feeling. I think which side where my right hand is. And we eventually got rid of it. And mind you, this was during the pandemic. We had to get it out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was miserable. And I had it in there for quite a bit and was like, fuck, I got to tell Mom. And we got it out afterwards.
Got the whole tooth out?
The whole tooth. Yeah.
They might as well take the whole tooth out because I already had a fill-in put in there. I go to floss yesterday, and it was really tight in there. I was like, man, there must be a really big piece of food in there. Nope. Part of the top of the tooth broke completely off. And then I got a cavity on the tooth next to it. So I'm thinking what they're probably going to do is just take that first tooth out and then fill in that cavity. And then I'm going to, and before that, get my teeth cleaned. So I've learned an important lesson. From now on, once a year, going to the dentist just to get my teeth cleaned so this don't happen again.
Yep.
I mean, then again, I floss like a motherfucker every fucking day. So
the one thing I've been doing since the pandemic, wash my hands. That is one thing. Normally I don't, but since the pandemic, I have been regularly washing my hands. Every time I go to the bathroom after work, wash my hands.
I mean, I was already doing that even way before the pandemic.
Yeah, but it's been like it was. Yeah, it was. I think before it was, every so often or something like that. But then after pandemic, since then, wash my hands.
Mm-hmm. Actually, speaking of that 2013 thing, let me unplug my phone from the computer. And also, this couldn't have come with the tooth thing at a worse time because I'm in the process of saving up some money to get parts replaced on the computer. Mm-hmm. So now this is happening, but hopefully I can get my mom to help me out with the payment on getting this sorted out.
Yeah, I
don't want to spend another $200. Yeah. That's not happening. So
yeah, I had to pull up all my messages to you on here, and I now seen who I had on here. The rest were like Bullbeat, Stone Sour, Caledon Brood, Stephen Wilson, Saxon, Soilwork, and James Labrie were the other ones I did not mention. They had put out albums in 2013. I was so shocked you didn't put the Saxon album on there.
I forgot about Saxon.
Yeah, I even own Saxon. I didn't bring it with me, but I own Sacrifice.
So far, how long ago did I make that? 8 hours ago. So far, 76% for Avenged Sevenfold over Newstead, which I'm kind of surprised.
Oh, that's... I'm like, why is that happening?
Because A7X is a bigger band.
Yeah.
And it's a good album, but you can definitely tell they were wearing their influences heavy on their sleeve. Whereas the Newstead album I really, really liked.
Yeah, I voted on those that I'm like, I knew right away. So I was like, okay, the one, obviously Avenged Sevenfold and Newstead because I knew about those. And I was like, okay, I liked the title track, but that's about it. And I think I voted for the Newstead one because it had songs from that EP they released in January.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised to see Avenged Sevenfold winning that. And then I voted for the one with Suffocation in it because
let me get to those. So next up, it was Blood Red Throne self-titled versus Broken Hope Omen of Disease. I'm kind of surprised BRT's leading because Broken Hope's been around a lot longer, and that was their return album after 14 years.
I did not vote for
that one.
But it's
relatively close. It's relatively close, though. Deicide, In the Minds of Evil, Suffocation, Pinnacle of Bedlam. So far, 71% are going for Deicide, which I'm shocked because that Suffocation album's one of their best.
Yeah, I used to own that, but then I'm like, this just sounds like Reign Supreme from Dying Fetus. Because I had heard that kind of sound before at that point, because I was still kind of into that style of death metal, and I was just like, this just sounds...
brutal tech death.
Yeah, that stuff. And then to me, when I was listening to that, I'm like, this just sounds like what Dying Fetus just did in 2012 with Reign Supreme. And I love that album. But I was just like, I clicked on Suffocation.
Next up, it was Evil Skull versus Power Trip Manifest Decimation. So far, 62% for Power Trip.
That surprises me.
Then probably a true meeting of the minds. Gorguts Colored Sands versus Ulcerate Vermis. So far, 84% going for Gorguts, which don't shock me because Gorguts is Gore Guts.
Yeah.
But then again, Gore Guts and Ulcerate are almost kind of the same band, almost.
Yeah, this next one, though.
Yeah, Alice in Chains, Devil Put Dinosaurs Here versus Black Sabbath 13. So far, the closest is 53% for Sabbath.
Woo! I voted
it's only
for Sabbath.
Separated by 2 votes right now.
Sweet.
I knew that one was going to be close because both of those albums were awesome.
Yeah.
Next up, Carcass Surgical Steel versus Exhumed Necrocracy. 90% going for Carcass, which doesn't shock me.
I voted for that one. Yeah.
Hell, that was my album of the decade, actually.
Oof. I think mine. I still haven't figured out mine for the decade, but I think. Well, actually. Oh yeah, I think I did. Oh yeah, I did. I think number 1 for my decade was Book of Souls.
Monomorph Deceiver of the Gods versus Hypocrisy End of Disclosure. So far, 68% going for a Monomorph.
That's the only one. Even though I do not like that Monomorph one. I personally prefer the previous one from it. That being Surtur Rising. That one was fantastic. I was just listening to that one at the time, and I'm like, ugh. Not.
So far, next up, Killswitch Engage, Disarmed Descent versus Dillinger Escape.
Oh, that was
killer.
I want to say that was so difficult for me. I was just like, oh, fuck you, Levi. Those are so dang. Those are ones I absolutely love. And
absolutely
then I was like,
different.
Yeah, I was like, they're both core. I was like, I love them so much, but I was like, okay. When I was thinking, I think I went with Disarm the Descent because I was like, one of us.
Because that was when Jesse came back.
Yeah, when he came back, and I absolutely loved. I just did a review for that not too long ago. But when I was listening to that, it was consistently all the way through from front to back great. The songs were great on Disarm the Descent. Whereas I think it took to the title track of that Dillinger Escape Plan album for it to get really great. But I ended up picking Killswitch.
Yeah, so far 70% going for Killswitch. Next up, we got another close one. Dark Throne Underground Resistance versus Motorhead Aftershock. So far, 52% for Motorhead.
Fuck! I picked Dark Throne. God damn it.
I put those together because when you think about it, Dark Throne was going the Motorhead route at that point.
I love that freaking album. I love the Underground
Resistance.
It's probably my favorite Dark Throne album, bar none. Oh, and this one.
Yeah. Queensryche self-titled versus Dream Theater self-titled. So far, Queensryche's winning.
Ha!
Next up, Black Dahlia Murder Everblack versus Revocation self-titled. By far, Black Dahlia right now. This is another close one. Autopsy Headless Ritual versus Immolation Kingdom of Conspiracy. Autopsy leading, which is kind of surprising.
Dang.
Tie right now between Amorphous Circle and Children of Bodom, Halo of Blood.
Come on, Bodom, win this one.
Then Death Angel, Dream Calls for Blood versus Sodom's Epitome of Torture. So far, Death Angel's winning 56%. Oh, yeah. Sepultura, Mediator versus Soulfly Savages. Sepultura winning, which is a bit shocking.
Yeah, that surprises me a lot.
And then Onslaught 6 versus Toxic Holocaust Chemistry of Consciousness. So far, Toxic Holocaust 62%. And then Skeleton Witch Serpents Unleashed versus Warbringers 4 Empires Collapse. Skeleton Witch is leading.
Yeah, I voted for the Skeleton Witch one. That's the last one with the original vocalist.
Yeah. Yep.
Last one I care about from Skeleton Witch. After that, I don't give a damn about them.
And we have a random Miller sighting.
Wait, Miller?
Yeah, Miller from the Thralls.
Oh, Miller!
Oh, he's just listening. He's mixing right now. That's why he's not on camera talking.
Fair enough.
It's okay. Enough. Yeah, we're just kind of shooting the shit tonight. Oh, and what's up, Rick? Oh, he'll be here in a little bit.
Yeah, and I want to Rick. Yeah, I want to say Miller, your kid, Aris, he's awesome. All right, I still call him Aspect, but yeah, he's a cool kid. I like him. I like hanging out with him. Yeah, I didn't know because I first met him I think last year, his kid, and did not know until freaking he told me that Miller was his dad. I was like, what? No way!
And you know something, Ryan, is that here in a few weeks I'm going to be going on vacation up around Toledo. I might get to hang out with the Thralls guys all day and night, possibly on one of the days. So maybe I might get to meet Josh's kid and see how awesome he is.
I think he lives in Florida, probably. That's where I'm thinking. I might have to ask him again, but
he is in Florida. Shit.
he's in Florida. Yeah.
Oh no, he isn't. But actually, what's funny is that funny enough, on my other monitor right here, I got some Thralls playing. Just because why the hell not? I was watching back the old videos from Thralls back 4 years ago when Tommy was in the channel, when they did the Metal Games making choose between 2 albums or 2 bands. I would love, it would actually be fun if myself and Thralls did that together, like a collaboration thing where the top 2 losers have to get punished somehow, but hopefully not something insane because I don't know if I could stomach it.
Fair enough.
Because I really, really love that game where we have to like try to figure out how the fuck do we gauge these guys and their taste. Especially them trying to guess my taste is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I am a bit unpredictable yet at the same time.
I'm kind of the same as well. You never know.
There are times where I'm predictable, and then there are times where I'm unpredictable. And Josh, you just came up with the punishment. The punishment is having to look at Shred's ass. Oh my god! It's like, for how long? How long would we have to watch? 2 minutes? Oh god! I feel like I would just be like,
yeah.
God. So yeah, definitely if we do that, I definitely don't want to lose.
Yeah. Let's just say my music, what I listen to varies. It varies big. Like, it's like you get from the darkest depths of shit to the to me the holy stuff. It varies from in between. It's
but actually, eventually, not only getting parts replaced for the computer, but I still got a bunch of soundproofing foam that I haven't put up in here yet, and that's just because I want to find something that doesn't ruin the walls, like some kind of double-sided tape that actually will stick to the foam, or some kind of adhesive that won't leave marks on the wall in case I were to end up moving shit around and like maybe take my setup upstairs in the house again, or in the currently what's my bedroom. Like, this used to be my bedroom, now it is my office. The room next door is my bedroom now. So it just all varies on if I feel like moving shit around. But eventually, whenever I do get parts replaced and also get a new CD shelf, because as you can tell, it's getting pretty full. Hell, I just started on the final section at the bottom. So I'm going to have to get some bigger shelving. So once that happens, this whole setup's going to be completely different. Like, you might be seeing me up against a wall like this from that side, possibly.
Ooh.
But since Josh has the GoPro, I also got a GoPro. Well, granted, mine's a little older. It's a GoPro 8, whereas I think they've upgraded to the 11, I think. Ooh. So yeah, we definitely got some recording stuff. Although my battery on this is kind of crap, so I don't know if I gotta get like a better battery or if it's just how GoPro batteries are. Like hell, I was recording my Anthrax ranking. That was about 50 minutes, and my battery was down to like 16%. I don't know if that's normal or I need to get a new battery or what, because I'm still learning the GoPro as I go along.
Oh.
But one thing I definitely need to figure out is audio, because the mic, like I got the, I forget what the fuck this thing is called. Oh, the Media Mod. The mic's okay, but it picks up the rearing sound of my computer where it's like audible on the microphone on here. So I've just been trying to use the audio from my Blue Yeti mic and try and edit it on top of the video footage from the GoPro, which it's been working so far, but it's just really inconvenient. Like I'd just rather just have audio and video, one file, and it sound good.
Yeah.
But I need to find me a good mic for the GoPro that will attach to everything. And we have a random Rick sighting.
Rick!
Hey, it's been a minute, Levi. What was the last time, man?
It's been months ago. All right, let's see you, Josh. You gotta get to bed, get up by 5. I will definitely get a hold of you, and we'll get everything sorted out. I've been slowly talking to all you guys, John, Joe, and Nick, about this trip plan. And Josh saying, "What's up, Rick?"
You got a vacation coming up?
Yeah, I'm going up to Toledo in a few weeks.
Oh,
so I'm gonna probably get to hang out with the Thrallers finally.
you're probably going there the best time of the year because it's not that stupid summer heat, but also you're not going in the blazing dead of winter where it's like.
Yeah, that was kind of a mistake the last time I went up there. It was around Halloween and it got cold quick.
Yeah, so you're hitting that sweet spot right before it gets chilly.
I'll be up there from the 10th through the 13th of September.
Awesome. What's new, Ryan?
Not much. It's kind of funny you mentioned vacation because I'm on vacation right now. Not currently in Texas right now. If I was, well, I would be on my laptop normally, but I forgot a specific cord for my big headsets, so I am on my phone at the moment.
So you don't do it like the Griswolds, right? You get on that station wagon, head out west, and like play that go-go song. You know what I'm talking about.
maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, a lot of my peoples are taking staycations just because everything's so stupidly expensive now. Just and they ask me about suggestions and shit. I'm like, hey, I'm just as broke as you, man. I'm a record collector. We're like, by default, we're broke. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to maintain a little bit of money, but yeah, I was saying at the beginning of the stream, like I've been having issues like with my computer, but it seems to be okay right now. But I'm planning on getting parts replaced, like the processor, graphics card, and hard drive, which that alone is probably going to cost me like $700-800 bucks.
See, you're that guy, man. Like I used to be like strictly Windows guy too. Like so here's the thing. So I work in graphics, right? Like I do graphic design and shit like that. So people who do what I do are generally like they're Mac heads, right? So, but I was that odd guy. So I was usually a contrarian, even amongst the contrarians, right? So it's like right. So we're like the odd ones out, and even those people within those cliques were using Macs. For a long time, I was using Windows. I still tinker every once in a while, but I used to be like you, man. I used to assemble my rig, and but as I got older, man, it's just like plus a kid and it's just all the responsibilities. I kind of dropped out of that. I kind of miss it a little bit, but I feel like the field is becoming less and less favorable towards that, man. It's getting harder to become the DIY guy than it was years ago. Everybody wants the all-in-one shit. Like everybody wants the or they do what I did. I just gave up and fucking went Apple, even though But you guys are gamers, right? So you do have to stick to Windows.
Yeah, well, lately I haven't been playing too many PC games apart from like Minecraft, Golf with Your Friends, and Among Us, and that kind of stuff. But for like Fortnite and Fall Guys, I just now play on my PS4 now, which I think it's better that way. Even though it runs hot, but
going on console, I feel like it's almost the equivalent of like quitting and going to like to Apple, right? Because it's like the all-in-one, the console. Now you can hack consoles to a certain extent. You know what I mean? I think the last good hackable console was the PS3, right?
Which I have a PS3 in the closet.
But Sony fucked that up too, man. It's like with the updates and all the iterations, it's like they kept removing these features, man. And I remember my buddies nerding on that shit, installing Linux and, and all kinds of things,
Yeah. Well, Rick, you're going to be joined by another Rick because we have a Ricky sighting.
Hello,
Ricky.
I've seen you
What's
before,
up, guys. Oh, just got home from work. Oh man, it was a bitch.
But real quick, so for the people in the chat, if you got questions, ask us. And oh boy, we got a doozy to start off. And of course, it has to be from Ace Cannon. Varg or Euronymous? Oh dear.
Euronymous.
Varg.
Euronymous.
we're doing the or thing, right?
The horror thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna lean towards Euronymous simply because he doesn't have the history of racial superiority type of comments, which is probably the hugest turnoff.
Yeah,
it comes to me when it comes to a guy like Varg. I still have some Burzum, but I've stopped buying Burzum quite a while ago. It's just another one that I dropped out of. Are we getting black metal questions, or is it just general?
Whatever they want to ask, mostly metal. But I mean, I don't like either. But I guess I'll go Euronymous.
When it comes to Burzum, to me, after Philosophum, that's where I stop. The rest, I really don't care.
When you went to the ambient stuff, right?
I mean, yeah, but Philosophum's like the one that I'm like, okay, I gotta have it eventually.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard that. I think I downloaded it back in the day, and it was just like it was a kind of black metal pack, and it was on there. It was Philosophum, and putting it on. I'm expecting like total chaos, fucking shit, because with everything else that was in that. This comes on, and it's just like, what the hell
is going on?
It was interesting in its own little way, but it was not anything what I was expecting, and I had to sort of process whether I liked it or not. It took a while. It's interesting for its time. It's not something I revisit much often nowadays. I get it. Some of the people discovering or getting into black metal, it's like one of those you have to listen to it at least once, and to understand the context of where this stuff came in the history of. And I'm sure you guys listen to a lot of stuff you may not enjoy as much in the beginning, just to get familiar with what the hell was going on in the scene.
Death metal was one of those when I was in high school.
For me, was
like early on in high school. Like whenever I first heard death metal, I hated it at first, but then I got into Cannibal Corpse, Death, watching Metalocalypse, Morbid Angel, and then I've become obsessed ever since. And that was
if we could nail it. There must be some statistician out there that's probably keep a record of how much Metalocalypse had an influence on this rate of people coming in. They were huge, man.
I think they might have been the first. I think for me, they might have been the first kind of melodic style death metal at the time, because I was still getting into all the genres and listening to everything at the time. I think maybe the closest thing I can think of that might have been melodic. They technically are, but they also got some prog in them. Was BT Bam and The Great Misdirect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for me, black metal was the one that I couldn't get because I was really scared. Yeah. Because I remember this correctly. This was in junior year of high school. I had some college classes, and one of those days we had some spare time. And I was just browsing through to see what I can listen to, and I come across Venom Welcome to Hell. I listened to the song, and I got scared, especially the chanting of the female. I got scared of black metal for a while. And then I went to death metal. Death metal was more my round because I'm a horror guy. I could get more into death metal. Yeah. Once I got into death metal, I went back to black metal, and I was like, why was I scared of this? You know, it's one of those. It's one of those things that I always like tell people that I was scared of black metal, but love death metal, and now I love black metal as well. Yeah, but honestly, I also gotta give Mayhem points because I'm gonna see them live in October. Oh, I'm hyped.
I remember back in the day, man. Like, what was it? The first Necrophagia album, and just what is it? Yeah, it was the Season of the Dead.
Season of the Dead. Yeah.
And I just love the whole vibe and aesthetic of that album. That to me was a true horror album. You know, with the whole zombie element. It's just kind of I think I've seen that album, right? That one before I've seen Slowly We Rot. You know, and
yeah.
I think that one sold me more than Slowly We Rot into checking out this genre more. And you know, like you were saying, Ricky, like it's something about beyond just the music too, just the whole overall package. You know, it kind of draws you in. Like you said, you're a horror movie guy.
Yeah,
that did more for me than Possessed. You know, or even the first Death album. Even though the first album, even Scream Bloody Gore has that horror shit going on and everything else, but it wasn't as overt because it's just these guys sitting on the throne. I know.
Hi, Nick.
What's up, guys?
They're just hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I had to catch the end of the Kelly interview.
Oh yeah, for Jeff.
Oh, you were on that. I was going to say, Nick, somebody's impersonating you in that over Jeff's over there. I don't know if that's an imposter or if that was actually you over there.
Oh, that was definitely me.
Oh,
yeah. I imposter myself.
Somebody hijack your name.
But right now, I am like obsessed with Cannibal Corpse because I'm gonna see them in October as well with Mayhem and Gore Guts and Blood Incantation, which I bought in Back to Life and the Worm Infested EP, which I've been looking for a while.
Worm Infested is a good EP.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the next I'm gonna buy is gonna be Gallery of Suicide with the original cover and Butchered at Birth. Those are the next two I'm gonna buy.
I mean, honestly, it's one of those. Just get them all. Like,
yeah.
they really don't have a bad album. Like, I mean, even my least favorite, it's still got a lot of shit I like on it. Like,
the one that I'm gonna take a while to find is the Richard Spawn, because I want to get the one that's not the lyrics are censored, which I know you, Levi, you were looking to get one.
And with the DVD making of the album too.
How do you know which one is which? Because I know at Mad Rush Media, he has a German edition, which I'm pretty sure that's censored.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I have the. Well, I mean, you can go through Discogs. But
that's what
you might end up paying Discogs prices, though. I mean, I don't know. I got lucky on some stuff. Like I managed to get a copy of that new Pizza Death album for $14. And it's already been grossly fucking jacked up. Oh, and actually, all the available copies that are either in Australia or New Zealand now. So,
speaking of Discogs, I also was able to buy with the original artwork, Carcasses, Rico Putrefaction with the original artwork. And supposedly
Scratch and Sniff.
Supposedly the vendor said that it was signed, but he didn't know by who. So if it's signed by either, Bill,
Jeff,
by,
Ken.
I'll be like, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you get either of those.
I remember there, that should be an easy tell if you can compare to other signatures.
I mean, I know I have Bill and Jeff's on a poster. I don't know if Ken managed to sign those. They had it was their reunion they did in 2007 when they had Michael Amott and they got Nathaniel Erlandson doing the drums.
I still find it weird that Michael Amott, before he was an arch enemy, was it Carcass? Like,
And Carnage.
Yeah, oh, Carnage is great.
He was in Candlemass too for like a minute.
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Was that chapter 5? Was that the one he was on?
I think so. Yeah.
I think.
I think that was
the name I hate saying. Starts with a D.
Oh, Dactylus.
Yeah.
I have that one. I don't have chapter 5. That's the only one I'm missing. I
Only
think.
I need
Candlemass.
to get
That,
more Candlemass.
that sounds that way. That was in the 90s.
Yeah.
They were still trying to figure out, like, they were on hiatus and they were all doing their side projects, and they came back and they're like, well, do we sound like the 80s again, or we go trendy like the 90s? So it has a bit of a hybrid sound of the production of that time. It's just so weird.
I know Dactylus is just sort of an odd one. It feels like an odds and ends compilation, but I guess it's an album. I don't know. But what was the one before that? Oh, fuck. Something Sun, 13 Sun, or
Was it 13
Did that
gauge?
come out after? I think that came out after. Yeah, that's their slower one. That's like their. To me, it sounds a bit like a stoner album. Like that's like their
that was the first one with the different vocalist too. That was after Messiah had left. I don't know if he was on that many, but it had a totally different vibe. But it was still heavy.
Yeah.
So, did you get a chance to jam the new Horrendous? I mean, that's your backyard, Rick. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I've only listened to it once. I still haven't got a copy of it. So
I'm probably gonna get a copy whenever I'm up there in Toledo, if any of the shops got it.
Best of luck. I mean, it's been kind of hit or miss here, just in terms of like, at least in the record stores I frequent, they're just not delivering them on time. So sometimes you'll have to wait another week. But I don't know. I have a feeling at least one of the stores is probably going to get this in, just because I know the rabid death metal heads that fucking work at the one. So yeah, this is fantastic. This is
so good
this year.
Yeah, it's become a favorite now for me. And man, this year, and it's tough competition for me because Hellripper, Nea Obliviscaris, Enslaved, Forced, Rise to the Sky, and now Horrendous. It's like, man, it's not going to be easy.
And we're still have
Outer Heaven. That one's rising a bit. I like it. I don't know. I feel like it's a little too on the nose sometimes. But I mean, in terms of execution, like, yeah, it just crushes. Especially the DMT song. That one, that is, dude. That is a wild, trippy, like that. It's like Morbid Angel on DMT. I don't know. I didn't like the fact that he used the same vocal filter across the board, like that doubled and cavernous and sort of like, I don't know, like at some of those points, I really wish they kind of stripped it back, because you see him live, and you get the reverb effect, and that dude has powerful vocals. Like when we saw him years ago, like they were almost threatening. They were that heavy. But yeah, like I just think they did a little too much of the vocals on that one. But yeah, overall, man, it's killer.
I like that pre-Tuition hymn track on it. I really loved how melodic that was.
I was really surprised. I mean, Idol had a ton of melody on it too, and so did the one before it. But yeah, this one, like, man, when it came down to those like melodic harmonies, they were just so fucking good. And again, very Later Death, like cynic-y moments in there. I think the production too is really good. Like, I mean, I feel like it sacrifices maybe a little bit in the guitars, but the fact that you're able to hear everything, it's very cleanly separated, and it still sounds very organic.
I think they timed this release this. You know how like when you have the big summer blockbuster, whatever coming, so these other movies have to come out, so they don't have to compete with this. These guys are like, fuck, we got an incantation coming down the line here. Let's get this shit out before we have to compete with that shit.
Dude, everyone. I mean, I just saw like what Wolves on the Throne are coming out with an EP next month too. Like September's stupid loaded.
Oh god,
Dying Fetus the same weekend.
Primordial. Oh my god.
Let us know.
There's some.
Oh yeah, Blood on Swearing's already streaming too. I haven't. That band and I just don't get them sometimes. Like I picked up one of their albums years ago, and I was just like, I have no idea. Is this what
Avant-Garde? I think I think Blue Dot Snore are avant-garde. They're kind of the same.
Oh, they're definitely.
They're in the same boat as Death Spell.
Same boat as Death Spell, maybe.
Yeah,
even
pretty much.
Maybe like almost like a bit of a black metal equivalent to a band like Ulcerate as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Dot Snore does have a tad of death metal in there, but not as much.
Yeah,
but,
I think their recent stuff, the whole disharmonium thing, has something to do.
I did
with
check that one out last
and
year, and I thought it was actually pretty freaking chaotic, but yet fun.
And then they did the compilation album that they had put out before this new one was Lovecraftian something.
It's always Lovecraftian something.
I think it's all related to Lovecraftian, H.P. Lovecraft and stuff like that.
When you're talking about end of year list too, like I always struggle with those particular kind of albums where like I love it, it can be high on my list, but I have to be in a certain mood to listen to it.
My list is only so far locked into
two.
I think 72 Seasons from Metallica, and then probably all those ambient albums from Devin Townsend's project Dreamscape. They're the ones that are locked in for me. And there is not a lot of other stuff I have locked in yet.
Right now, for me, the only locks are Hill Ripper, Insomnium, Metallica. It might go down. It might, depending on what's the rest.
But it's on my
list. It's
Obituary. Metallica's on my list.
Not on my list.
Obituary is really high on the list.
Yeah.
That might be
shockingly, Metallica might not be on my list.
Metallica will be.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, dude, Mutoid Man. That's going to be high on my list. That is one of the most enjoyable listens this year for me.
I've not checked it out yet. I gotta check that one.
I mean, have you jammed any of the previous ones?
Oh fuck! What album was that? Just one other one. That's one band that's,
It's wild. Like, this is just, I don't know. It's just a fun genre blend. I'm a huge Stephen Brodsky fan. Like, I've been following K-Ben for years, and when this project popped up, I was very curious and was like, wow, dude, like thrash metal to hardcore to stoner metal and sludge and weird, like squawky melodies. And he's got like a bluesy refrain to his voice too. And now he's got Jeff Matz in the band too. This new one's catchy, just like anthemically catchy at times.
Yeah. Oh, the new Cattle is a lock for me for sure.
I'm thinking this EP from Ablaze My Sorrow might get in for me. The Loss of All Hope, because I actually did dig that, and that came out in January.
Okay.
Brujeria, the new album in September, that's for sure already gotta be in the top 10. I don't care what people say.
I jammed one of the songs. I was like, that's all right. And I know they have another single out I haven't checked out yet, but it's one of those bands like I've never like really dove into much. Like, mostly just know about them just because of like the legendary fucking album cover with severed human head. And like everyone's played in them. Like, I think bassist from Faith No More was in there.
Billy
Walker. Nice. Here it is. Yeah.
Yep. Signed by both Juan Brujo and Poncho Peach when I saw them back in March.
Yeah, it's a band I need to just actually check out. But I mean, Enslaved is definitely going to be on there. Dude, that Dodge Kingsguard album. That's one I need to listen to more. But that is truly just an odd but enchanting listen. I don't know what to make of it.
I find it's a nice kind of balance because I really like that Thanafaxis too. And that's a much darker, just kind of chaotic and just nightmarish thing. And if you want to kind of balance it with something else that's kind of a little more out there, and I think Dunhar's Guard is kind of has a nice little place in there too.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Enslaved, but there's something far quirkier in there. Like the shifts to like electronic music, the weird vocal dynamics. Like sometimes it sounds like they're yelling from different points in the room and then singing, screaming. There's like an a cappella start to one of the songs at the end, which is just strange. It's like Norwegian Blackened Queen.
I totally forgot this came out this year, but to all of y'all, is the new Run Sound album going to be on y'all's list?
Honestly, possibly. It's one of my favorite grindcore releases.
I love that album.
It was really good, but I think for grind, the new Bird Flesh has it beat for me.
New Bird Flesh. I mean,
that was such a fun experience.
Since we got to hear every backstory to every song, courtesy of Ellis, which that was such a hilariously fun interview. Like, it's a channel I had to cut out so much of it. It was like, man, there's too much here. But yeah, he told us the story behind every single song on there, and then told us like, oh yeah, there's a bonus track that's not, it's not on the CD. Well, it's a hidden track in the CD. I was like, what? We didn't get that in the stream. I was like, oh yeah, no, you have to get the version on there. Mm-hmm. We listened to it. It was like, dude, that is the most gloriously stupid thing. It's amazing. But yeah, getting like the song "Balcony Piss" was like, yeah, it's like, well, you go to like festivals, like, well, the festival we like going to, like, a friend of ours drunkenly peed off a balcony onto some people.
We can all get behind that story. Some of us have stories.
I mean, there's something nice about peeing off a balcony. It really is.
Just the off chance you might hit an officer or somebody below. You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
you do it from high up enough, they're not going to make out your face. They're just going to be, they're going to be pissed.
Oh, I know. It was really long.
They say it's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Yeah. More ways than one.
Yeah. I will say there's one album that probably won't make my list, is the debut album from Angus McSix. Because I remember listening to that, I'm like, what the hell did I just listen to? Like, I heard power metal, but I'm like, why am I hearing 80s sounding stuff in it?
Well, I mean, that is kind of power metal too.
Yeah, but it's like it's literally 80s synth pop sound sometimes. Like that kind of 80s. I was like, wait, what?
Wait, huh?
I was like, what? Wait,
I mean, I really like the new Depeche Mode, but I don't know if it's going to make my list, but maybe an honorable non-metal mention. I have two that have a good chance. I really enjoy the new Queens of the Stone Age. It's a dark, brooding listen, and I'm a sucker for Josh Homme's weird songwriting. And what was it? Host, the project between Nick Holmes and Gregor McIntosh from Paradise Lost. It's their goth rock album. It's awesome. Like Depeche Mode, Sisters of Mercy. Like kind of a throwback to that. It's really not that heavy at all. More lush synths, and it's great. It's just somber goth rock, dude. The song "Tomorrow's Sky," absolutely infectious.
Is it something like "Unto Others"? Kind of a little more.
No, actually, "Unto Others" is notably heavier. Like this isn't as guitar driven. This is more like synth driven, vocally driven. Like there's still guitars in it, but they're not like at the center stage. This was just they named it Host because this was sort of a continuation of that era of Paradise Lost, but they wanted to do it like, kind of strip back any of the, really heavy metal at all to it. Like it's more of just a rock project /
gothic rock,
industrial synth.
Man, sometimes you got to do these, I guess what you call escape side projects, and just ideas in your head that don't quite fit your regular band.
Oh yeah, Gregor was actually in a bunch of interviews, like going back. It's like he enjoyed doing the stuff then, like 1 Second, Host, and
that was back when they were on EMI those years.
What about the Ghost EP?
I like it. I mean, I like the covers. I know. I know Paul
Diano hated.
Paul Diano hates everything.
Yeah, he hates everything. Yeah,
I thought it was good. I thought they did a good job.
I mean, it's on Target. I haven't had the chance to pick it up. I might pick it up because
the Tina Turner cover is absolutely amazing. They did a knockout job, and I love the Genesis cover.
Me. That song's so fucking catchy. Jesus, he knows me, and it's all right.
Oh, dude, I love that song when it came out.
I'll say this: if any of y'all did a worst albums list, I'm pretty sure that Sleep Token album might be number 1.
I never want to listen to that trash again.
Oh, don't bring me flashbacks to when we did worst albums.
I don't want to. I'm not going to do a worst album.
I'm not listening to it, so I guess I've been spared.
I couldn't do him justice. I didn't do that list.
Fine, leave it to me. Although it
bring,
may be difficult to find terrible albums.
don't bring me.
No, it's not. I mean, you can find them. I don't. There's been some like.
Yeah, but I try to avoid because I'm like, terrible album. Okay, I know some are saying it's terrible. I'm like, if I have to judge myself having to listen to
one,
I'll fucking do it.
But
I mean, for Christ's sakes, I'm hoping.
I mean, let's be honest. The minute 5 Wicked Concept Fuck releases an album, worst album of the year, hands down.
More likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a lot of metallic hardcore this time too. That's in the running. Judiciary, Drain. Yeah, there's been a good year for that. Now, there's been some solid bands coming out. I saw them jammed Incendiary. Dude, the new Unearth album.
Yeah,
fucking love it.
That was really good.
I like
but
the
as
new
far as yeah, that was really good too.
I thought it was all right. It was it's a very busy album. I mean, I will always say I have to listen to Nils play because that dude is an absolutely amazing guitarist.
Yeah, I was listening to that. I was like, when I was doing my deep dive for them, I'm like, there's some great moments in there, and then there are some not so great moments on it. I'm like, you're coming off of an album that I thought was perfect in Singularity Phase 1. Like, that is a perfect album. And then I'm listening to this, I'm like, yeah, there's some greats, there's some hits, and there's some misses.
Another one that climbed up for me was the newest one from The Ocean, too. That one took a little while.
I need to listen to that album. I need to listen to all
of it. Ryan, that's your alley too, man. You're into Devin Townsend. So
yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. I've been wanting to check out The Ocean for quite a bit now.
God.
Especially when they're doing the whole prehistory stuff and like that. I'm like,
this is the end of that. This is
I'm like,
they're up to now.
Chapter 1 for me got me hooked into The Ocean, which and especially that song that has
when did that come?
I've been
from Catatonia. I know that 2018.
Catatonia, this year.
Yeah, Catatonia came out. Skyboard.
Yeah, that Catatonia is really good too. I need to get more Catatonia in my collection.
I'll say it once. I'll say it again. If an Asimo would have done the same thing Catatonia has done, I wouldn't shit on them like I shit now on them.
Well, and Anathema's kind of, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. There's stuff they put up that I like, but
Anathema's, I just like the first 5 albums. That's it with me. After that, they went all freaking. They went Radiohead before even Radiohead was even Radiohead because Radiohead hated Radiohead. You know.
I mean, I didn't like Radiohead until OK Computer.
Come on.
That Ocean album, it's a lot different than what I was expecting. Like, honestly, it's not a super heavy album. It's more synth driven. It's more moody and atmospheric, and the lyrics on it. Generally, I don't even pay much attention to lyrics because I mean, most of the shit I listen to is zombies, devil,
depending on the band.
Yeah, I'm looking at what they're saying. Like,
depending on the band. Like for me, whenever I get a new CD, I just put up. I like listen to the album, read the lyrics, because sometimes I'm like, so that's what they're trying to, especially with death metal. I'm like, oh, so that's what they were trying to say. I always thought it was this or that. Which
I'm trying to stay like loyal to a band when they change their sound that drastically too. It's like I'm thinking of all the Over fans, like back in the day. And I remember even back when I was listening to Amorphous and they went like Pink Floyd for a while.
Metal band. You can kind of say that with Carcass after Swan Song, which I like Swan Song.
You can say Carcass with like every album. Like there are people out there that Reek is the only one, and they sold out on fucking Symphonies of Sickness. And then as it goes on, they're becoming a pop band. Like, fucking kidding? But Amorphous, like honestly, the first songs I think I ever heard by him were off of Am Universum and Tuonela. So that was the stuff like and Elegy. And I was like, this is cool. And then I heard, Carillion Isthmus. I was like, holy fuck, is this the
completely
same band?
Different band?
Yeah, man, that album
vibe. You still feel that Finnish vibe. It just had a whole different. It was just a different genre.
Yeah, I mean, Amorphous, like all throughout, it's like the one thing I think that unifies every album, melodic death metal, but in different quantities. Like early on, it was more like mellow death doom, and then prog mellow death, and then more streamlined mellow death, and then bringing back a bit of prog, a little bit of folk, maybe some hard rock thrown into the mix to kind of diversify stuff, because I thought that last Amorphous album, Halo, last year, I loved.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
I really, really liked it.
I didn't like the one before that as much, but the Under the Red Sun I really liked.
Is that
the
the
one with the
one-
Queen Bee?
2015
Is that the one with the Queen kind of font in it?
Queen of Time.
Yeah, I thought that one was
Yeah.
okay.
I thought it was good, but yeah, Halo.
The one before it, Under the Red Sun, I thought was much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. S's, he's like the main, songwriter in there. He's got like, eclectic taste. He's like a giant Doors fan, and that was why when they're big shifts in there, like even you heard it in the keyboards, especially. It was like, dude, that sounds like a Doorsy Hammond organ thing.
He could have covered "Light My Fire" at one point. Way back.
Yeah, and it's thoroughly entertaining. Oh, maybe light my fire.
Oh God! Can you imagine singing that to your significant other? Come on, baby, light my fire.
Hey man, she's into it. She's into it. That's
Now
I'll
I
give
want
them applause.
Corpse Rider to sing "Light
They
My
did it
Fire."
before 6 Feet Under.
All right, I'm back.
I want Corpse Rider to sing "Light My Fire." Come on, baby, light my fire.
I want Corpse Rider to no. I want Barnes to sing nursery rhymes to children.
Oh,
Just a sea of crying kids. Like, make him stop. He smells like pee.
Which do you think would be more hilarious? Barnes reading nursery rhymes or John Tardy reading 50 Shades of Grey?
I want to
John
see
Tardy.
John Tardy, 50 Shades of Grey. I want to hear that.
I'm pretty sure with that voice, he's going to get all the sexual energy that was missing possibly in any other reading. And well, all right, the only other reading that might beat that has already been done, and it was Gilbert Godfrey.
Yes.
Yes.
No, rest in peace. Yeah.
Could you imagine James Earl Jones, 50 Shades of Grey, in Darth Vader mode?
I don't know. I think the breathing would get a lot heavier in certain spots.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Or
But
Christopher Walken, man. Christopher Walken.
oh, God.
I'm inside you. I came an hour ago. Yes, no, yes, no.
Gary Busey. Except I want to see him read it. We get that level of horror going so I can see all 80 of his teeth as he's gnawing on an infant or something.
Oh,
He
God.
can manage to finish his lines before he spazzes.
But oh, God. But I was gonna say, so a band I've been listening to more lately is In Mourning.
Great band.
As,
Yes, great
as
band.
I got all of their stuff except for Weight of Oceans, which I do not know why that album is so hard to find. Right
That's
now.
the
Why
most
though?
recent one, right?
I was
No, that was 2012.
I
was
need to get
trying-
the most recent one.
I was trying to see if I could get
That's
it for
one,
you.
Bleeding
but I was
Veil.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's the only one I'm missing because the one, Weight of Oceans I own.
Yeah, I've been trying to look for Weight of Oceans. Can't find it. At least
I
not
only-
50 fucking bucks.
Why though? Why is it that expensive? It's like
2012 and 2013 albums seem like some just go out of print out of nowhere. I don't know why, but yeah, I got pretty much all their stuff. Yeah, Shrouded Divine, and this is actually
I don't know that one
the Dollapop remaster with a bonus track that came out last year, and then I got Monolith, Afterglow, Garden of Storms. Which
Great album.
great
I've heard
album.
Black Storm and Yields of Sand. Oh my God, those songs are incredible. And I already had Bleeding Veil, and then I actually got their Live in Valley Sound studio album when they did the live show in the studio into 2021. Recorded live at Valley Sound Studio, November 6, 2021. But the whole show is on their YouTube channel where you watch them jam in the studio, and they got a mixer doing the sound. It sounds amazing. Absolutely incredible. So when I saw they had it as an album, I'm like, I gotta have it because they did a phenomenal job playing that stuff live.
I feel like
Really
they're
don't go
sort of
for-
Swedish answer to like the Finnish guys like Insomnia and Ghost Brigade and
Exactly.
like
I would always say, I would say in mornings, like the perfect hybrid of Opeth and Insomnium.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get some really heavy spots too. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah,
like yeah, like a little bit of Stockholm kind of creeps in every now and then.
In morning is kind of like, I want to say like the nephew of like a Swallow Sun or Insomnium, because I kind of see both Insomnium and Swallow Sun as like kind of
when
like,
they get into the slower, doomier parts.
yeah,
Yeah,
I see them both like brother and
Sun.
sister, or sometimes like father to son, even though Swallow Sun's always like top tier for me. And it's a fucking shame they're not coming to Houston or San Antonio, because I really wanted to fucking see them.
Man, like with Swallow the Sun, I've noticed the past few releases have become less of a just put on and listen kind of albums, because they're just so damn emotionally draining. And
Dude,
they can be.
God,
Yes.
The one after his wife died. Oh
When the
my
shadows
God.
force into the light. That was the
Yes.
album.
Probably next to World Coming Down by Typo, the saddest album I've ever heard. Oh my god!
I mean, yeah, when you know the context, like, oh, I know exactly what he's talking about. God,
that was the album that got me more into the band. Hell, it was my album of the year when we did that. That
it was my number 2 that year,
2019. And then when Moonflowers came out, Jewel was more angry because the whole fucking pandemic happened.
Yeah. That Moonflowers is a good album too. I need to get more of their stuff.
I mean, for fuck's sake, my battle vest is a Swallow Sun shrine.
I gotta see them with Amorphous. God, it was back when they were touring on whatever the fuck.
Why did they have to tour with Victushka? Honestly, and why not in San Antonio or Houston? Why they had to go to Dallas and Austin? Why?
Actually, it was interesting because that Cleveland show is where I found out about Axioma, which was Aaron Donaldson from Keelhaul's new band, which we just had play in BG, and my God, that band is awesome. Like, I don't know, somewhere between like death metal, neurosis, black metal. It's dissonant. It's twisted. Oh my God.
Kind of like Ulcerate then.
Yeah.
Except it's kind of got like Times of Grace kind of woven in there too. Like more slow and brooding, but you get blast beat sections. Fantastic fucking band. They're insanely fucking heavy. But yeah, they were opening up for Swallow the Sun and Amorphous. When I saw them, I was like, who the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, they're local, man. Dude from Keelhaul. I was like, I hadn't heard that name in a while.
What year would it have been when you saw this?
It was Queen of Time. I believe that was the tour they were on.
So that was also when Swallow the Sun had Songs from the North.
Yeah, Songs from the North. Yeah. God, that would have been one hell of a show. Were they? No, they weren't doing the double set. Because I know later on they did the double set with the second of the half of the album, the whole acoustic, and then the third and first, which, God. Luckily, I have the Live in Helsinki DVD and CD, and I watched that shit a lot.
We had we got meet and greet tickets for that one to meet Amorphous. Got a signed poster. Actually, my brother-in-law is in one of the music videos for one of the Amorphous songs they put out as a single on that album. It's funny because like someone pointed, was like, "Dude, you're in there." Like, what? It's like, yeah, my brother-in-law is easy to pick out because he's 6'8" and like I think he was getting a signature from is it Tommy or Tommy?
I always say Tommy.
No, I say Tommy too.
I think it's
Tom. Yeah, Tommy's. there's a lot of distance between the two of them, but yeah, I was like, dude, you're in the video. Holy shit, that's crazy. So he was on YouTube before I was.
And they call you the Big Show.
And if you take all the weight of the hair on Tommy's head, it's probably it's a mass.
Dude, and that microphone he has, that weird steampunk thing where he has like two handles on either side.
Oh, yeah.
That is an interesting custom job there. I thought,
mean,
is he about to like do a harmonica thing?
It's not as weird as Jonathan Davis's mic.
Well, I mean, that was a custom Geiger piece.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that's probably worth some serious fucking money.
Yeah.
But
No,
as I was, but as I was saying about with In Mourning, like I would always tell people if they're curious about this band, I would tell them In Mourning is what would happen if Opeth stayed a prog death metal band, because it almost feels like this is where I think Opeth could have went after Watershed, is something like In Mourning what they would do, where you get some real heavy parts, but you get some real somber sullen sections, but they get more lush. But
I think
Michael's doing what he wants.
Probably how they would have sounded in the early 2010s, like, but because they still would have kept transitioning up in 2023. Opeth probably would have went. I think Opeth would have went, like when you watch the original Star Trek series, by season 3, they already had like the evil Spock going because they were running out of other ideas.
Goatee Spock.
It's kind of like Death. What would happen after Sound of Perseverance? We kind of knew more or less where Chuck was going. You know.
I always look back on that thinking, had Chuck lived, I could have seen it be kind of in like a Carcass situation where Death would have probably stopped after Sound of Perseverance, and Chuck would have focused on Control Denied throughout the 2000s. And then I would say sometime in like the end of the 2000s, heading into the 2010s, I could have saw Chuck get Death back, and we could have had an amazing comeback album. And Death would probably be one of the biggest extreme bands in the world right now.
What kind of lineup would he have?
I was going to ask,
what lineup? That will be the interesting part.
I think he'd get Gene Hoglan again.
Probably.
Maybe
Chrissy,
actually, I think Gene would have been going into Testament at that point.
Maybe.
It depends on when this comeback would. Like, I think Gene Hoglan
probably late 2000s. Gene Hoglan probably.
Yeah, I think he probably would have got Gene Hoglan. Like he'd still be in Strapping Lab, but I'm pretty sure he'd split for dates on there. I mean, even when he was in Strapping Lab, he was in a ton of other projects
and played live in so many bands. Unearth, Opeth.
I mean,
Deathclaw.
Steve DiGiorgio, I think, would come back too.
Yeah.
Now for second guitars, I couldn't. You know who I think would have been an interesting choice to have with Chuck? Stefan Kummerer. Could you imagine if those two got to work together? They'd create magic.
Oh,
yeah.
Stefan, being the big Chuck fan that he is, he would have. It would have been like Joe from Gojira getting to do the first Cavalera album. Like, oh my god, I'm actually going to get to play with Max and Igor.
No, you know who would have been another great second guitarist? Devin Townsend. Maybe like a special appearance. A special maybe
like a guest solo spot, perhaps.
Or maybe a tour with either Strapping Young Lad or Devin Townsend, whatever project is doing with Daz.
Or also Christian Munzner from Obscura Necrophagus could have been.
Yeah.
And there were so many great guitars by that.
But with drums, if it's not Gene, probably Sean.
Well, or let's say at this point, Carcass isn't together at this point, and they get Bill Steer.
Bill Steer and Chuck together.
I mean, I imagine Chuck would probably still want to push the melody quite a bit too, and you'd have a guy that's a solid riff writer as well. But also, I don't know if, because I mean, Bill's used to writing a lot of stuff, and same thing. Like he and Jeff are like the big writing tandem there.
Yeah,
having too many alphas in the band.
I was gonna say there might be like an ego check, like you'd have the price checker at Walmart.
Kind of like what happened with James Murphy during the spiritual healing sessions.
Yeah. I mean, James Murphy wouldn't be a bad pick, but I don't. They don't get along. I mean, who knows? They might have patched up shit, but I'm reasonably sure.
Or what if they would have bring back Andrew LaRock?
Andy LaRock. Well, he would have still been busy with King Diamond at that point.
But I don't think King Diamond was the comebacks.
I think he was still touring that.
He was maybe during either downtime with Merciful Fate, King Diamond, he could have gone with Death.
Could have gotten an Individual Thought Patterns reunion.
Probably.
That would have been interesting. But yeah, other guitarists around that time that could have meshed well with Chuck and that could have
I was gonna say no, not him. No, not him.
And I am trying to think of like the upcomers or like band or like guitarists who were already making waves at that point. What?
How about Eric Rutan? Maybe
that could have been
that
interesting.
Could work. No,
maybe he would have only been on for the album. I don't know.
How about this as a?
He's not known as having those progressive tendencies, though. He's more
as a special guest. Matt Heafy for one song.
Yeah, Matt Heafy. Yeah, that could have been because he was a big.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would have worked. Yeah, because this would have been Shogun era, and he's still probably.
Yeah, this would have been around the time of Shogun. Yeah,
I would say Ralph Santola. I mean, when he was alive.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a journeyman. You know, seriously good melodic chops, great lead playing. He'd have someone to play leads off of back and forth, and he's a journeyman. I don't think he's going to be like, oh no, I need to write songs all the time.
And he was in Death, but only for a live capacity. He never did to get to do an album.
Another special guest, maybe Michael Ackerfeld.
Again,
perhaps.
Well, yeah, as a special guest,
as a special guest for like a solo or even a vocal part,
probably
vocal part.
Vocal part.
Yeah, both hearing him both growl and do a clean part on like a really melodic section, that could have been beautiful. And there's so many around that time that could have been. Yeah, it's definitely one of those what could have been scenarios if Chuck didn't pass. Yeah. And Death came back in the late 2000s into the 2010s.
Oh, we could have gone on like a big four tour.
A big four tour, Death, Cannibal, Morbid Angel, and take your pick between Deicide and Obituary.
Nile. Yeah. I mean, it's more technical playing there too.
Maybe Possessed if they were.
Well, they were playing live in the late 2000s when Jeff got the band back.
Yeah, that could.
Yeah, imagine a Death and Possessed tour.
Oh god!
The Who started death metal tour. Let's argue
the
about
battle of the bands. The real battle of the bands, right there.
You will see a shirt half Death, half Possessed.
It'll just say death metal.
Yeah, it really would. But yeah, other dream tours that Death could have had if they stuck around. Yeah, Nile would have been an easy slam dunk. Obscura.
Gojira
would have been a good one.
Mastodon. Also.
Necrophagist.
Yeah, Necrophagist.
That third album's going to happen, brother.
I don't know how I feel about Death and Mastodon, though.
I mean, honestly, it depends on. All right, it depends on the direction.
On the crowd.
Honestly, Symbolic has some stark similarities to some Mastodon material.
Here's one: Death and Celtic Frost.
At the late 2000s when Celtic Frost was together.
Yeah. Oh, dude, with Monotheist, I'd pay for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that would have been Triptychon. Or word?
No, it still would have been. It would have still been
Celtic Frost.
Were they still around at that point?
Yeah.
2006 was.
2006 to 2008.
Yeah. The Celtic Frost are a bit of a. They had that downer element to them too, which it just would have been a nice compliment.
Nice contrast. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much.
Carcass and Death Carcass.
Yeah, during that reunion run.
Yeah.
The pioneers of all the genres of death metal.
How about an odd one? How about odd ones? Usually there's odd tours.
The odd band out.
Mr. Bungle.
Maybe Evil.
Primus.
Killswitch Engage.
Michael Bublé.
Oh god, 6 feet under. A 6 feet under a Death tour.
No. Wait a minute. Yeah, no.
Spit it out.
Oh wait. Because let me think.
The Electric Mayhem.
Speaking of spitting it out.
Wait. Let me think of this because if memory serves me right, in the late 2000s, 6 Feet Under had Terry Butler in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he might come out and maybe have some guest bass appearance live sometime with Death.
Play Pull the Plug.
Oh,
fuck
God. Oh,
That's
God.
In
When I
some
got.
cases, yeah, it's terrible, but then again, it could work because of Terry Butler.
And I met the guy. I met Terry Butler. Hell, he was nice enough to sign my Leprosy CD.
That dude has a
God.
firm handshake.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's a mountain of an individual.
Yeah.
It's like a brick wall with a beard.
I'd be nervous, man. Like a small stature. I didn't even one of those like Thanos with gauntlet gloves. Like when everybody like shakes his
Yeah,
hand.
with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like he's got mitts on him. I've met him a couple of times.
Yeah, he put
Soft
his
spoken,
fist-
really kind, but firm handshake. Just like
he put
hey.
his fist near me when we took a picture, and I was like, "Oh my fucking God, he has big ass hands."
It's just, hey, how's it going? I'm like, hello, sir.
That's how it was. After I saw Left to Die, I think I told the story before. I met Rick Ross during the show, even though my whole debacle with Ross is kind of already buried the hatchet, and I wanted to meet Terry because I already had Ross, signed my Leprosy CD. I wanted Terry. And after the show, I was hanging out with some friends, and I was like, I should go home. When Terry Butler comes out, I was like, holy shit, it's Terry Butler. So I go calmly, ask him, Mr. Butler, nice to meet you. I'm a fan. Would you be able to sign my CD? He said, absolutely. Took a picture. Very nice guy. Nice guy. He was a really nice guy, but I was like, he's huge.
He's a solid dude. Yeah, I saw him with Inhuman Condition. He was by the booth, talking to people and shit. Yeah, super nice.
So my friend James' favorite metal song from the year you were all born.
God.
I was born in '78, so my
1990.
I'm from '96. Must be something gothic.
God
That was-
dang you.
that was
If
the
I
big-
born around there. I would have probably picked something from Load, probably Outlaw Torn. But I was born in 1990.
Probably from the song from My Dying Breath from As God from the Sun. That's a really good track.
94 for me.
Pick your
94,
fucking
the
poison
year
with
Black-
94. Pick your
The year
fucking
black
poison.
metal exploded in 94.
90.
I don't know. I'd probably still go with Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead by Cannibal.
Trying to think. 90.
That
I'm
is
a little closer
still
than
a
that.
favorite.
No.
So I would have to go with probably Heaven and Hell. Something.
It
was one of my favorite vocals,
What
so.
came out in 90? I'm thinking, okay, Queensryche Empire.
Alice in Chains, Face Up came out in 1990.
Rust in Peace, Cowboys from
fuck,
Hell,
Rust in
Seasons in the
Rust-
Abyss, Left Hand
Thank
Path,
you.
Deicide, Cause of
Judas
Death,
Priest, Stained Class, or
Oh.
Exciter. That's '78.
Yeah, Exciter, that's a great tune.
Actually, I would take the Cars Moving stereo though. That would
Ah,
probably
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
jam.
We're only talking
Yeah.
metal, but all right.
I know. It's a heavy-ish song. Whatever. I don't care. I love that song.
I'm probably. What did it say? Song?
Your favorite metal song from the year you were born.
90. Oh, that's. I'm gonna go
Pain-
Painkiller.
Painkiller, yeah.
Yeah, Painkiller.
Yeah, really, 1990 is the ultimate. Take your fucking pick.
Yeah, take
Oh,
your
yeah,
fucking pick.
yeah.
Arguably the best year in metal history. You could make a
Oh,
case
that's
for.
nice.
Maybe
91
19
was pretty good.
80, 81,
If you
82
go
were
non-metal,
great
I'd probably
years.
go with Joy Division. Another one means to an end.
Yeah,
I mean, when it
Painkiller
comes to
for
the
me.
best year in metal, some people can say maybe 1970, Black Sabbath, 1980, Heaven and Hell, British The Wobble, 1982, Number of the Beast. I don't
I had
know.
to go.
Dude,
Some people
86,
could
man.
say 86.
Rain and Blood, Peace Cells.
Yeah.
Master
Master
of
of
Puppets,
Master.
Darkness
I'm-
of
This will be
Sins,
harder.
For the Kill.
If I had to say before my birth, I probably would say 86. But then I think after, oof, that's tough because there's 2012 because that had a lot of good stuff in 2012.
Yeah, 2012 was
Uh-huh.
great.
I only think maybe 13, maybe 13. I probably it's a tie. I think between either it's 2012, 2013, or 2015.
Then we got 2112.
That came out in the 70s. Add further confusion.
Yeah. But like now, if I had to choose my favorite song from '90, Ryan's year, Holy Wars, still my jam.
Oh, it was either that or Painkiller for me.
Yeah.
But there's so much there. But again, 1990, it's the example of take your pick.
Yeah, it's literally
like sometimes I'll say Holy Wars, other times I'll say Left Hand Path. One day I might say Cowboys from Hell. The next day I might say Dead Skin Mask.
If I had to say Ricky,
Man in the Box.
Ricky, you said 90. Ricky, you said 96.
You can do better on that album. Did See a Sorrow?
I would say
Love, Hate, Love.
Love, Hate, Love, yes.
I can't remember.
That's another good one, too.
I love that album. I love all of Alice in Chains albums. Like, that is, that is one of my favorite depressing discographies.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I wonder when we're going to get another album from Alice. It's been fun.
Jerry seems like he's doing solo albums here lately.
Yeah, he's been content with doing
maybe early next year.
Maybe next year. I do know Blood Red Throne coming out in January.
Yeah. I saw that.
That album cover, holy crap.
I'm surprised they actually
crazy.
I'm surprised they actually announced it till like January. I was like expecting like December, November.
You know? Apparently there's gonna be a new ministry too. the new
2020 songs, March 2024. I was like, yo, that's almost a full fucking year.
Yeah, Al's one of those guys. I wonder how he's still kicking, man.
I don't. He has bucked so many odds. I don't get it. But he should be there. He probably knows.
Al is another guy like Ozzy who should have already been dead a long time ago.
I'm surprised people can still do drugs because I figured Al did them all. Like there was a drug shortage because they were all in Al's body.
And Kid Richards. No way, that's more cocaine.
Oh, don't trust me. Al was in that too. Al was in a lot.
And Ozzy though. Ozzy.
Yeah. But would you want to be the coroner for that job, man?
I am.
It's like,
what didn't we find in his system? That's the question.
Yeah.
they'll have like a fucking an odds sheet. It's like, all right, who had ketamine on there? Because it was in there. Because of course.
I still find it amazing that Kid Richards, Ozzy Osbourne, and Al are still fucking alive, and they did more fucking drugs than that motherfucking cartel.
Al's not human. I don't know. Maybe he sacrifices a dreadlock.
Or even Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
Like, how's he still alive after all that happened?
I think with Dave, he found God. That was
well, even right before he finally got clean. Like right before he did get clean, like he was starting to using the needle, and it was like, oh dear God.
Yeah,
he's been in and out of rehab.
Yeah.
Like it's
AJ,
not been
15 times.
Sing the Antichrist.
He won't even do the Conjuring live now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on. That's like one of the best fucking Megadeth songs. But anyway, he bounced in and out of rehab multiple times. So
it's kind of like if Kerry King
15 times within 7 years.
8 years, something around there.
Like from 88 to 95, he was in rehab 15 times.
Dude, you want to see like him at his worst in a music video? Look at the one for No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
He is fucking coked the fuck out. They had to do the close-up shots of him playing. That wasn't him. That was someone else. Because it's like, yeah, he could barely stand up and do the. He could barely do that. I think he went to rehab or to the hospital immediately after that shoot.
And he was clean for over a year after that, and then went back at it again.
Another guy that should have been dead a long time ago is Alice Cooper too.
Yeah, Alice Cooper fucking partied pretty damn hard.
Yeah. I mean, hell, he was taught by Jim Morrison,
Yeah.
Janis Joplin, Hendrix, who they
The
all
thing
died at
about Alice, though,
27.
he kind of looked the same age for years. Like, it just
Yeah, he really did look the same for many
But
years.
there was a point in time.
Dude's been a 60-year-old man for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
I don't know how he
His
done
name
it.
is fucking Cooper. I don't care. If I have the
Crazy
chance to
reason.
see Alice,
that
I'll
would be
singing.
amazing.
That'll be
Yeah.
amazing. It's fucking Alice.
Yeah. Oh.
And but yeah, and then also with back to Mustaine, like yeah, he almost fucking died in early '93
Yeah.
until he finally got consciousness back 5 minutes later after he practically was dead.
Dude, Phil Anselmo did the same thing on
Yes.
one of the, I think it was the 97 tour.
Nikki sick.
Oh,
Yeah, Nikki Sixx.
The whole Motley Crue gang. Every one of them.
God, that band should have broken up so goddamn long ago.
They really should have.
Wait,
Especially considering, well, Mick, I don't remember him being much into drugs.
Yeah,
He was a drinker.
He was just more of an alcohol guy, and then later on his bone
the
disease,
prescription.
which,
Yeah,
and then later
pretty
on his
much.
bone disease. It's like, man, how does he have the will to keep playing with that?
And he was the
happening
old
to
guy
him?
in the group when they
The
formed.
oldest of the
Yeah.
member, yeah,
Yeah,
the oldest
exactly.
member of them all, yeah.
Yeah, he
Probably
was
the
about
most
40 already by the time he joined the band. He's like, I'm going to be hitting the.
Yeah, he's one of out of everybody in Motley Crue. Mick is the one that's like, I'm ready.
The
to
most
die.
level-headed, and
Yeah,
all.
I'm ready to die.
You need that one guy. He's the Mr. Fix-It. You know, when it came to getting these kids.
And also, and people can say what they will about Motley Crue, but the man knew how to write riffs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll
He
give him the
absolutely
early
knew how to
stuff.
write riffs. And yeah, like the first two, Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil,
Devil.
I still love those.
Shout Out
albums.
Devil's a fun album. I like that.
Oh,
one.
yeah. It's pretty heavy for that.
Dr.
time
Feelgood
frame.
is amazing.
I do think Dr. Feelgood's got some jams on there, but like
Yeah.
Theater of Pain and Girls, 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 I was like, why?
I low key like Girls,
Couple
Girls,
of
Girls.
songs here and there, but
There's a-
I mean,
nothing really much
let's
else.
be honest.
Songs about all the STDs that Vince Neil was collecting.
I mean, let's be honest. With most of the glam metal bands, the 80s stuff is like their best stuff. The 90s stuff, I really.
if they were even putting stuff out.
The trajectory, like if it gets with I want the girls, then I got the girls. This is what happens when you've been
Get
through
the
with girls.
Yeah, pretty much. Or a band like Poison, where after they did what they did, and then they had that Native Tongue album where they tried to be more mature.
And Brian loves that album, doesn't he? Native Tongue, doesn't Brian love that one? Arkham?
I think so.
I could have sworn like there was one of the ones he actually showed the ones I actually like this album.
Richie
kinda like-
Kotzman on guitars.
It's kind of like
the
somebody
talk.
that reminds me of like kind of like somebody liking Cold like what the fuck?
John!
Chime
Oh,
in,
John.
sorry, where did that come from?
The hot take everyone forgets because the one hot take is so memorable.
Yeah.
Complete strangers.
You know what?
still went up to him.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of John, I was Miller was in here a little bit ago, even though he didn't have his camera on or the mic, he was just chatting. But yeah, we came up whenever I come up there here in a few weeks, less than 3 weeks from now, up to Toledo, and I'm hanging out with you guys. I was rewatching back the old videos with you guys and Tommy doing the metal games, making you choose between two albums, two bands, and the punishment at the end. I was like, if I'm gonna hang out with you guys, we ought to do something like that.
Oh, I got some Cannibal Corpse hot sauce.
Oh God! Well,
Edible hot sauce.
Miller actually came up with a punishment. Whoever the two people that lose has to stare at Joe's asshole.
No.
for as long as possible.
What if the label like is it chill? Does it say just diarrhea? Like,
I think I don't know. It might threaten to like spot weld your asshole shut.
Oh God! Like fucking like Aquaman in that bath metal video. God.
It's like, do you want blood in your stool? Then try this. It was a metalhead box thing. I got fucking like, God, I think the first year I ever got it and pulled it out of there and was like, that is going to stay very sealed because I'm already scared of it. Actually, Tommy tried it. It was like, it's good. It's hot. It's hot, but it's good. It's tasty.
Tasty.
Iffy.
I'm not that great.
But yeah, if we definitely did something like that, I would be very curious. Like, depending on the choices you guys would have to make me choose, it'd be like the wild card.
I mean, it depends because I mean, you said what, the 11th,
10th through the 13th.
Oh, well, 10th will be like the day. That would be the day we got back, so we probably wouldn't get back until late.
And I would be on my way up.
Yeah, so yeah, because we're gonna be down in Illinois for full terror assault. That's gonna be a hell of a fucking drive. I'm not looking forward to that. Plus, driving through very rural Indiana.
Oh man.
What part of Illinois?
Southeastern. It's a place called Cave Rock. It's like right in Shawnee National Forest.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's nice. My friend, she was telling me, I was like, I'm kind of envious because they got all sorts of like cool hillbilly dirt racing tracks out there that people just go ape shit on. I was like, probably gonna miss that, but I'm probably gonna get tons of good old boys. I'm really sure of that. Like the guy that runs it was telling me they have something called a gravy chug, which I asked him, I was like, all right, first off, do you participate in this? Like, oh no, hell, no. I just watch these people just wreck each other. You have to chug like a thing full of brown gravy first.
Oh God.
Then you do a shot of, it really doesn't matter, it's something horrible. And then another thing of gravy that is like the turkey gravy, the lighter gravy. And then you chug a beer. And then they get like an EMT or you die. And I don't know how anyone wins that. Like, I think you lose.
I'm just thinking of that part of the state or country, like where like you can't even drive around an electric or hybrid. They just completely just make fun of you.
Yeah.
Anything goes over 7 miles to the gallon, it's like it's too rich for their blood. Like,
what the fuck is this? Billy, come over here. Look at this motherfucker. It's kind of like a Volkswagen fuck the go-kart.
What?
And then after you come in.
It's not even American. I know it. Yeah, I just driving down to. Well, I mean, we got a review for Heavy Hell coming up, but yeah, I brought driving there and like getting more into Indiana. Like you start seeing the very, very, very Christian billboards. Like, hell is real. Repent now. Go to them. Cracker Barrel next exit. But yeah, like 8,000 immigrants a day are stealing your jobs, man. I was like, man, dude. Like, I forgot.
That's right.
The belt buckle kind of goes up pretty high. Like, it rides up high like an old man. You know, that buckle them right around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, I'm originally from Lima, Ohio, and that town's. Yeah, that town's pretty southern. Like it's amazing how the accent shifts.
Do you just take death metal like cover, like Immolation, right? Close to a world below. Just take the cover of that, slap it on the billboard. I mean, that'll hit that'll get the message home.
Doesn't this look cool? It's not. It's gonna be warm at least.
So
I know they probably would be. Well, wait a minute. Are there titties on that? I was like, yeah, but you can almost not see them. Just pretend they're not there. I won't think any less of you. God might, though.
It's literally on fire, you know. It's like the bra should not be still on there, but
yeah. Well, see, it's got, you know, it's not upside down. It's a straight up cross. See, it's fine, no issue, theoretically. Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, like, you know, you get into like Southern Ohio and shit like that. Like, yeah, you get a lot of that, but I mean, it seems like all of Indiana is kind of like that. And, you know, I imagine Southern Illinois is going to be close to that, but it's whatever. I'm going to go see a whole bunch of fucking killer bands.
Yeah.
Yep. Then,
but yeah, funny enough, whenever earlier when we were talking about like notable things that happened at shows, whenever 2 weeks ago I went and saw Gojira and Mastodon Lorna Shore, there was a dude crowd surfing in a hot dog costume in the crowd, and I was like, "You go, dude."
Not surprised, man. Like,
There's
you
always
see weird shit in
one
mosh
guy in some weird costume at a show. It seems.
Oh, dude, MDF, they come out in droves. There was a dude in a cow costume. There was a dude, oh God, was it a like Scooby-Doo costume? And a couple of people I ran into was like, oh yeah, I know those guys. They do this every year. There were a whole group of dudes in Hawaiian shirts. And then they had inflated like beach balls and like floating things for pools, just flying around the pit and everything. Like, yeah, there's some characters. There's always the one dude that has like the Liberty spikes way up. Oh yeah, this dude had like, God, like look about 2.5 feet of hair just standing straight up. It was impressive. And as the sun cooked it, it was kind of cool to watch it kind of melt in real time.
It's like it'd be like a boner on someone's head, and when they see something they don't like, it's like,
oh.
But of course, no one can ever forget that Maryland Death Fest of last year when that chick decided to put her panties and let her boyfriend eat her in the middle of fucking autopsy.
She pissed in his mouth too. Don't forget about that. I was luckily not, because when Autopsy was playing, we could hear him. You know, we could see him, but we wanted to get close for, Cavalera, because that set was fucking amazing. But we heard about it the next day, and I remember it's like a certain point, Chris Reifer going, "What the fuck?"
They'll be back next year. Were they like banned or anything? Like, I don't know. Like, I can see them probably trying this or some other similar action.
But the question that I think is, why an autopsy? Why?
Hey man, romance hits when it hits, dude.
I know, but I'm just like if it was like Behemoth, Cannibal Corpse, Rammstein, or I don't know. But
I don't know. Maybe that was like your turn on. Listen, this is a fantasy I've always had. Dude, like I can still remember, like, because I saw the video, the one dude's face that always got stuck in my head. Like he was doing the circle pit and he stopped and you just see him go, "Whoa!" Oh,
yeah. It's a funny process of what you're seeing is what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's just like, no, that's gonna be the thing I'll remember forever.
But you wish it was you. That's
hypocrisy. Brought it up the next day. I was like,
yes,
congratulations, guys! You guys were in the paper. I'm not gonna say
what the fuck. Get a room. Fuck no, you want to fuck? Fuck. I saw in the video because somebody posted their set on YouTube. One of the security guys, after Peter's like, if you want to go ahead and fuck, he turns around, looks at me, and he's like, are you kidding me?
I mean, I haven't seen it like in person, but I know it's happened at shows. I don't know. It was a wild time. It was fun though. I can't wait to go back. Now they're added.
You are going back next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I already got my tickets.
I was going to get tickets for it, but then whenever I was going to go for them, they were gone. I saw Sodom playing Agent Orange in its entirety.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
And I figured with the year off, the demand would go up, so I pounced on them pretty much immediately. And yeah, once again, they put together a killer lineup. There's two other, because I know they're doing Ramset and Soundstage, of course. They're doing the power plant now, and there was another one, and I think it's all located in the square, but I don't know what the other one is called. But I don't know. I mean, it seems like a lot more manageable. Like I liked the Edison lot; it was cool out there, but like once you were out there, you were pretty much committed to being out there because, like, all right, if you wanted to go back to the Ram's Head and shit, it's like I got to get on the bus, get out there, or get a lift and get out there, and there's a good chance I could get caught in traffic and all that because it wasn't like super close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean the Rams the Edison lot experience was cool, but I kind of liked it the way they had it set up on in 2019, where it was pretty much just between Soundstage, Ram's Head, and then occasionally in the power plant.
Being that Sodom's gonna be on Maryland Death Fest, maybe potential tour.
I would love if they did a tour here in the States.
Yeah,
I want to see Sodom live.
Sodom hasn't toured the States in forever.
Same thing with Primordial. I know they're coming to the Maryland Death Fest. A new album announcing potential American tour, which I would love to see Primordial.
It might as well. When I looked at the lineup for MDF next year, it's like they might as well rename it to HM2 Death Fest because Grave, Dismember, Bloodbath.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Dismember and Bloodbath were supposed to be there last year, but stuff about getting the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
But they're coming back this year, which is cool. I don't know. I just want to make sure like there's a way to be able to see as many bands. Like the whole close locale thing was what I liked about 2019. Because I mean, I did have to make some choices between bands, and I still regret missing Church of Misery. But I think it was between them and Tomb Mold, and Tomb Mold was fucking incredible. But yeah, no, I mean, this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I really wish I had pounced on the pre-show tickets, but oh well.
Yeah. Oh, whenever you went last year, did you get to see? I don't know if you brought him up in the video, but did you get to see Necrophobic?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. They were. It was one of the I was out at the Edison lot, and they were playing the Ram's Head. God, I think it was. I forget which night it was, but yeah, there were a couple of I didn't spend that much time at the Ram's Head at all. I think the last band I saw there was Rotavor. Okay. And Yaucha. Yaucha was incredible live. The band's drummer is a freaking maniac. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to spend that much time there. Like we managed to get back to the soundstage on the last night so we could see Birdflesh and Cephalic Carnage close down pretty much the entire fest. And yeah, we skipped X Order not knowing that Pat O'Brien was going to show up, and like, surprise, I'm in the band now. Like, yeah, we were in there watching Birdflesh and just like we're just gonna wait here for Cephalic Carnage, and people were coming in. It was one of the dudes we met there was like, it's like, dude, did you hear about X Order? I was like, what? I was like, dude, fucking Pat O'Brien's new guitarist in X Order. Like, what? Yeah, and Kyle plays guitar. I didn't know that. And yeah, apparently everyone's like, dude, their set was fucking monsters. Like, well, fuck. But at the end of Cephalic Carnage's set, which was brilliant because Cephalic Carnage is absolutely amazing. They had Danny Walker on drums too. Kyle and I think the bassist from X Order came on stage and they did like a little Southern sludge jam while Len was just lighting up like pinner joints and handing them to the crowd. Like, that one's for you. There you go. Dude, that dude lit like maybe like fucking like 6 or 7 joints on stage. Like, yeah, there you go. Keep it. It's yours.
You kind of get that, man. Like bands like Cephalic Carnage, it's like you want new material from them, but like, you're glad that they're there. But at the same time, you're like, well, you're here. Any news on?
Well, I gotta talk to Len a little bit because one of his, like a side project band of his, played at Denver, Neuromorphic, and they're really good, like kind of like a groovier Cephalic Carnage. And I wanted to say, it's like, dude, I feel like I've been waiting very patiently. And the last one was really good. I mean, it wasn't as good as like Xenosapiens. Xenosapiens like pretty up there for me. But yeah, we didn't get around to it. In fact, we were just joking around. He said that we were talking about merch. Is that I want to see someone do a combination turtleneck wife beater. I was like, I can see it. I don't know if I could wear it. I was like, no, I think it'd take off.
Perhaps.
But yeah, he still do the insane vocals. He was doing like weird spoken word stuff in between songs. And we're talking to the bassist of that band. It's like, yeah, we don't know when he's going to do that. Like a lot of that, the spoken word stuff is just improv. And he goes on about like, I don't know, like weird stoner stuff.
You know what's what with Cephalic Carnage, they've always been one of those bands that's kind of escaped me. Like it's one of those bands that's like I know who they are and I've heard bits and pieces, but I've never like dove head on into them.
Oh, Jam Anomalies.
They were not pushed as hard as some of the other bands back in the day too. I remember you had to really seek them out.
Yeah,
that was one of them.
I mean, even in terms of like grind, like they were like death grind. They were always kind of different because there was like this weird technical. I mean, you
like
could almost kind of call it progressive in some sense. Like "Dying Will Be the Death of Me." That was the first song I heard, and that has that big, poppy chorus in it. And they
were shitting on metalcore.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we were trolling essentially. We just were like, dude, all these fucking bands coming out of this big, clean fucking chorus. Like, yeah, we'll just fucking do that because why not? And then make the rest of the song just insanely heavy.
I think it inspired bands to try things kind of that's how you get cattle decapitation.
Yeah.
The next breed.
Yeah, I was about to say it seems like the one band that could be a good leading point to Cephalic is Cattle.
Yeah,
because of some similarities.
Well, I mean, to a degree, like Cephalic embraces the weird, and that's like one of my main appeals. Like some of their earlier stuff is more straightforward, and I dig it. But I think it was around Anomalies. It was like, yeah, they're doing crazy shit, like jazzy drums and shit everywhere, and just weird guitar work. Like the lyrical themes were odd as hell. That was. Kind of the main appeal for me. I was like, this band is not only just like technically proficient and really solid songwriters, but they kind of embrace the strange.
Yeah, at the time, if you told me they were Japanese before I really knew much about them, I would have believed you.
I would have believed it too. I was like, yeah, this doesn't sound American. The first time I saw them was it Summer Slaughter 2010? And yeah, they were hitting up the crowds like, if anyone's got weed, we will meet you around. Yeah, find us. This is what we look like. They were absolutely fucking insanely tight for as wild and technical as that music is, like spot on. But yeah, like again, there's just something about them, like their aesthetic. Even like looking at them, like they look like they all came from different bands. I don't know. There's something odd about that band. And fucking, in Colorado, they still fucking love them. Like there's just a lot of people like. Yeah, Len's here. Man, I really wish they put out another fucking Cephalic Carnage record.
Oh, yeah. Well, on that note, I got to go because I got to wake up early to work tomorrow. So catch you guys later.
Good seeing you, man.
Yeah.
Down to 3. Well, actually, funny enough.
I'm gonna get another drink and grab a smoke. I'll be right back, though.
All right. Fucking toe. Shit. But,
I feel like Nick's on this like work shift where like you get the mandatory 2 15-minute breaks, smoke breaks a day.
Yeah.
Tries to fit it in that schedule.
Yeah. Luckily that ain't for me, but that's beside the point. But yeah, but again within morning, it's frustrating how I'm missing one album, and actually I haven't even checked Discogs for about a week, so let me see. Who knows? It might actually now pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, when you're picking up the stuff, do you go like chronologically, or just as they're available, or do you go for the full lengths? And maybe
I go whenever. I'm weird. I am so weird when it
with
comes
with some discographies, you can't really afford to be that selective, just because some shit's not like out in the wild like that.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, I'm partially a completionist, but sometimes I'm not. Like, I got pretty much almost everything Black Sabbath, but I don't have Technical Ecstasy, Never Say Die, 7 Star, or Forbidden because not really my cup of tea, but I got everything else, even the 2 big live albums, one from Dio and one from Ozzy. But yeah, and then like Testament, the only one I don't have is Demonic, and I might end up biting the bullet and buy that one because it's pretty available out there, and it's not the worst.
You listen for it, you're like, this is not a Testament. It doesn't sound like a Testament album. Like, but like you said, if you already got them all, I mean, you might as well. I mean,
yeah, and then like, what's another one that I'm close?
Hey, Frederick, I know that's you. He changed his name. Why'd you change your name?
Oh, he changed his name to Earache My Eye. Eh?
Yeah. I guess I do stream.
But actually, another band, and I'm almost done with their discography, is Dream Theater. The only ones I'm missing are, I think the only ones I'm missing now are Systematic Chaos, Black Cloud, Silver Linings, and Distance Over Time. Those are the only ones I have. I even have the Astonishing, which I don't think is bad. It's just too much filler. Too much filler.
That's one band I don't see myself getting the whole discography at any point, just because that's a very, especially their later output.
Such a massive,
it's hit or miss for me. It's just not, man. Again, I started out with their 90s output, and that's kind of where my heart is set on the material from there.
Images and Words through Metropolis 2. I don't know, the first 2 or 3 from the 2000s I liked. Even though I haven't listened to them all the way, like 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, I only recently got that. I haven't started on that yet. But like Train of Thought, the heaviest album, oh my God. And like Octavarium, where they just got absolutely wild. But like, I did really like A View from the Top of the World. I thought that was pretty damn solid. Distance Over Time I thought was good. At the time when The Astonishing came out, I liked it, but it's not aged very well for me. It's like, if I go back to that album, it's really like only like 1, maybe 2 tracks, and that's it. But like, I recently got the self-titled Dramatic Turn of Events and When Day and Dream Unite and 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, so, and Change of Seasons. So I actually did get quite a bit in the past couple of months, but yeah, like I was saying earlier, with trying to save up to get some parts replaced for my computer, the only CD I have bought in the past couple of weeks was the pre-order for the new Soen when it comes out at the beginning of September.
Okay.
Which I've checked out 2 singles. They just released a 3rd one. I haven't checked it out yet, but so far with the singles, it sounds like it's going to be maybe better than Imperial. I know Nick didn't really like that album much. I loved it. Like, I've checked out the last few Soen albums, and it's like, why didn't I check these guys out sooner, especially with Martin Lopez on drums?
I think I've dropped out of there. Like, for me, I think they've become, which is not a bad thing, they become quite more accessible, I think, as far as.
But it's not like a sudden dramatic shift. Like, you still get the core proggy alternative sound. It's just they got more catchy choruses, which they can get away with because Joel's such a hell of a vocalist.
There's a tact about how they did it, you know. But I guess, that's around when I don't know. I just moved on to a bunch of other things. It's just.
What's up, Brian?
Hey,
Brian, if you want to hop in here with us, let me know and I can get you an invite.
Oh, I see. Doom and drug reference. I kind of see. I see what you mean.
But yeah, so far, the singles for that new Soen album sound promising, especially the title track, Memorial. Like, yeah, it's got a big catchy chorus, but man, there's some chugging riffs on that song. Such a good chugging riff in there.
I didn't like the last one very much. I thought they almost kind of stuck to like a Seven Dust-ish formula, which I like Seven Dust, but that isn't what I really wanted from that band. God, where are we? I'm trying to find it. Here we are. Yeah, Lakaya, I really enjoyed. Lotus, I thought was fantastic.
Lotus, I loved. Yeah.
Cognitive was a bit too toolish.
I need to get all of Soen though. Like, I only have Imperial. I wanted to get Lotus because that was the first one I checked out, and I was like, holy crap! And Martin Lopez still killing it on drums.
Oh yeah, Martin Lopez is an amazing drummer.
I got a coworker into Soen sometime back. It was back in might have been 2018. She's like big tool nut, right? But just like any other band, it's just one of those only Tool people. And I go, just give this a try. Just give this a try. You know, let me know. And I kind of tuned her on to it. I don't know if she still listens to the band to this day. I'm guessing she does. But it's one of those people where they're not really into music like us, but there's a certain band they always gravitate to it.
Yeah,
it just has enough leanings. You know, obviously they moved far enough from the Tool sound, but I could see how that could, you know, kind of.
It's mainly in the bass work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somewhat in the good, like that first
Some
one,
rhythms.
cognitive, like that's where I first heard him because I think it was my stepdad at the time. Said, like, "Oh my god, this man sounds just like Tool." I was like, "Well, I know you love Tool, and you know I like Tool too." And
I think
kind of hard to tell the difference.
And wasn't Cognitive also the one that Steve DiGiorgio was on? I think.
God, I don't remember. Maybe
I know he was on an album because he was an original member.
But
just the styles too. Like War Lopez is compared to Danny Carey, they have their own.
Oh yeah,
Danny Carey's all about like odd rhythms and like tribal stuff.
He's a human metronome.
Whereas Martin, it's like he'll play just solid grooves and occasionally he'll play a thrash beat here and there. He's lots of killer double bass work.
Dude, his drum work on Deliverance is so good, and that's probably, I would say, like one of his most brutal performances.
Oh yeah, especially that thrash break in "By the Pain I See in Others," when he gets into playing those thrash bits, and then those patterns on the title track, and then going flat out doom at the end of A Fair Judgment. Which I will say, if you were to ask me my favorite moment on Deliverance, top to bottom, that final 2 minutes of A Fair Judgment where they went full on like Black Sabbath, Morbid Angel, Doom levels. I was like, oh my god,
it's hard to compare to that last breakdown on the title track, though. For me, like that would
be up there too.
It's such a big moment. I mean, I have that. I mean, I can hear that drum pattern in my head right now, and like I play that in jukeboxes at places where they don't want to hear that. It's like, fuck you, we're going to listen to all 13 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, so deal with it, you bastards.
You better watch it next month with a fucking dope smoker and just leave.
Oh, God. Actually, I need to find some old friends I used to go to school with who were into metal, hang out with them, and we go to like a place as jukeboxes and shoot pool while we listen to like Last Baron and Deliverance and Change of Seasons and just really fuck with people.
Oh, Dune and I, we used to go to a pool hall down the street, and I mean, it was nothing but like pretty much straights there, except for some people we knew. But yeah, like we just look at the crowd, and like they're gonna get aborted today. Like that's what they're getting. Yeah, we'd play like nailed through a cunt and shit like that. And just like it's, you wait for that moment when your song's coming on, you hear the intro, and just like wait for them. And then as soon as it hits, watch them go.
Like, what did you guys just do to me?
Like, and we're just sitting there going, "Yeah, that was us." We put $15 in, eat a dick.
Yeah, that is definitely something that I could see myself doing if I were doing that.
I mean, it's right by the record store they go to. So, yeah.
Now, whenever I went up there the last time, which was around Halloween 2 years ago, and we didn't get to meet up then, I went to 3 shops, No Noise and the 2 Allied record exchanges. The first one that I stopped at the day I got up there, which was Halloween, that was only like 5 miles down the road from Mommy Bay, and I go in there and I was... Yeah, I was up there and I felt like a kid in a candy store. Like, oh my god, I want to live in this place.
I haven't been there in a minute. That's the one that I think that one also, because the same company, they have Heights Music, which is like the used instruments too. They actually have some cool T-shirts there occasionally. I get the Converge shirt that I wear all the time. I snagged that there. But yeah, like, I don't know, sparingly. They seem like they sparingly get in used stuff in terms of their metal section. I know the dude that works at the one close to my house. He's a metalhead. He plays in a crust, like blackened crust band called Bone Folder. And yeah, he tries to get it all like the ugly fucking underground stuff, and looking for first prints. Like he's got a first print of Symbolic there, first print of Massacre's debut. I was like, oh, here I got those. Like, I got the reissues. I think I'm all right. And they're not terribly priced. I think he's asking $18 for. No, it wasn't Symbolic. It was Spiritual Healing. Yeah, $18. That's not terrible for a CD.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's in good condition too. They even get in tapes. I know he had like got an early fucking Hypocrisy EP on tape.
Would it have been the Inferior Devotees EP?
That might be it.
Yeah, because I randomly got that as a gift from my friend Scott, who sent me a bunch of stuff.
I'm pretty sure that Solitude Eternus tape is still there. If they had that on CD.
Yeah.
Nope.
What's up, man?
What up?
And then we're just talking about record shops now.
That's good.
Yeah, no noises. That's my dude that gets me stuff hooked up early.
Yeah, I did stop there once. I did stop up there when I was.
I've known
I'll
Rob
have to stop
for
there
years.
again.
Actually, the Goat Horror little sign thing they're up there that I'm pointing at. He had Goat Horror play his old record shop, Ram on the Loft. They were in town, but the venue that they were going to play, I think it was a tour with the Faceless. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that tour was going to fall apart anyway because that's what the Faceless does.
Yeah.
The venue got busted for serving minors. So yeah. Yep. So their show got canceled. I'm like, well, fuck. And they got a hold of Rob because they had shopped there before and say, hey, we're looking to play a free show. We can like at least sell some merch and get some gas money and shit. And he told me, yeah, Goat Horror's going to play the Loft upstairs. Tell some people, because I don't have that much room, but don't tell too many people, but tell some people. So I just told my brother-in-law and a couple of friends, and yeah, Goat Horror fucking tore it up in a loft. I thought the ceiling was going to cave in and we were going to die, but I mean, I kind of added like an additional thrill to it.
Yeah.
They smelled terrible. They smelled so bad.
I think they bring a little bit of that Louisiana swamp with them with everywhere they go on the road. Like the way Dracula brings his dirt. It's like, I just bring their
man, dude. Ben came out of the van just like, whoa. Like he was wringing out a shirt in the parking lot. I was like, stay away from that puddle. That puddle smells like onions and balls.
That's like a Tuesday for them. It's like, we do this
Dude,
all.
just before that show, because there's a little quote on top that says no power, no problem. An elderly lady hit a utility pole and knocked out power to the building. So Rob, the guy that runs the record store, and the bassist had to run to the Home Depot and rent a generator just so they could have the show. So yeah, everything was against them, but they still pulled it off. And it was incredible. Awesome. Yeah. He gave me that when he decided to close his original store, is like, because he wasn't sure he was going to come back, the record store industry in just the place he was at, like the rent was ridiculous, and they were they were fucking him over. Well, yeah, he gave me that, and then out of the blue, years ago, he texts me, he shows me a picture of a record shop. I was like, wait, are you back? I was like, yeah. So yeah,
no noise.
Oh, he's like high-end stereo equipment. For like the audiophiles out there, he's like kind of the reigning king of this area because he gets in an unreal amount of stuff. Like he has a listening room in there that has with probably close to $100,000 worth of audio equipment in there, and it sounds immaculate. Like, I mean, I know he'd love to sell me on some of that shit. I was like, I'm good. That's no.
Sure, you don't want these $10,000 headphones?
Well, no, it's the speakers. Oh. The speakers, like these 4-dimensional sounds. He played me. He put it on Pink Floyd's Time, and
I hate it when that happens.
You could hear the clocks all around you. Like,
wow!
It was like, and it was crystal clear. It was like, dude, this is awesome. What was the dollar amount again? I just want to hear this ridiculous number.
Oh, that's the thing, man. How do you go back to the old speakers after that, man? Like that's my fear. Checking out.
Yeah.
It was tempting. It really was. He was playing me some really cool Prince stuff, and I was like, dude, I can hear every layer and where it comes in so clearly. But no, I'm not. No.
Just be like, look, I don't need another,
another
5 years. I'll drive this beater for like another half a decade. These speakers look beautiful in my living room.
Yeah, I got my speakers in my car. Those Alpines have taken so much double bass punishment. It's like, no, they have earned their keep. They're staying.
Yeah.
We're good. But I mean, I get the appeal though. Like,
yeah,
for the audiophiles and shit that want to hear like every
best
little
sounding.
morsel of sound. I get it, but no.
Yeah,
They're out there, man. Like the people that with that kind of disposable income. If I was in that position, man, it's just like, and you had the means, I'd be like, I mean, especially if you got the what do you call it? The editions of that stuff. You got the audiophile editions of all this stuff. Like you'd be so tempted to do it, man. Even like talking those Japanese imports and shit, man. Like it's like I got a few of those, and I'm like, I can't take full advantage of those because I know I don't have the caliber of equipment. Yeah.
Well, actually, if I remember right, whenever I bought The Inheritance by Witherscape a few months ago, that came like if I put the CD in a CD drivers on the computer, it would have two different versions. It would have the CD mix and a vinyl mix. Because with how Dan Swano works with mixing and stuff, he always wants to experiment with like different sound qualities on everything.
Dan's the man.
He is, and like I said, amazing guy. I still can't fucking believe I got to talk to him last week.
You know, I actually had to buy vinyl this year in order to get the CD copy of this. This is so fucking good. Like, dude, like this is if I heard this back when I was just getting into death metal, like this would be like, it's like, yeah, this is what I'm about. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. Like we were just talking about MDF and that kind of stuff. And there's a whole, roster of bands were pushed by these big labels. And for all those kind of bands, there's the glory of dead bands, right? Where like, they're not going to be some big, gigantic tour bill or anything like that, putting out albums, and it's just, so I would hate to see releases like this and people missing out on it,
Yeah. I mean, I was going to cover it regardless because, I mean, that was a drunken conversation we had in the stream with Marty. And like, I'm going to send you something, Nick. Like, okay. And he sent me the first one. I was like, dude, this is fucking great.
He's way too generous, man. Like he sent me a copy too.
Talking about albums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is why, because I bought this one because he said he was going to send me one. I was like, no, you sent me the last one. I'm going to buy this one. But yeah. Marty fucking sent me that in a drunken whim, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I dig this." And it was weird because I even brought it up in the review. It was like, all right, when I met Marty, like I've been watching his videos for years, and he's got a huge amount of stuff he listens to, and I was like, all right, Marty has a band. What do you think it'll sound like? And yeah, like I was like, oh, it could sound. I mean, he likes a lot of thrash, likes a lot of heavy metal, some power metal too. Yeah. He's got a Skinny Puppy poster in the background, Too Dark Park. I like that shit too. It's not going to sound like that, but
I mean, the other guys was Chris Boris, was the bassist. He's in that band Pan. I don't know if you've ever checked them out.
I'm gonna check them out.
They're fucking awesome, man. It's kind of like progressive kind of death metal.
Okay.
If you like Opeth, they don't sound like Opeth, but they have kind of those leanings.
Oh, which band?
Pan. They're from the same area, Traverse City. And then TJ, the vocalist, like Brian actually sent me a CD. Like I just did a video on it. Like it was a Feast Eternal. It was one of his old bands.
I watched that.
Yeah, it's like that 90s death metal production. It fits so right for that time period. But it's good stuff, man. Like
yeah.
I can see
you'll have to send me some of that on like Instagram or something because that sounds like something I would.
Oh, Glorious Dead, yeah, but Morbid Angel, Hate Eternal, Bloodbath a little bit too. And I just think of just great 90s death metal. Like it has that sound. Like how you were talking about 1990 being a great year. That could have come out in 1990 and fit in perfectly and probably, be like one of those bands where like, holy shit, remember like Disincarnate.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like it's riffy as hell. It's great fucking melodies. The vocals are awesome.
That album's actually been made by those guys who've been around during that time, and they're probably not up on always on the latest greatest shit coming out. Like their minds are stuck in that era, man. Like that's not in a bad way. It's just that's That's why it sounds the way it does. You
Yeah,
know?
I think the most recent comparison I made with like movies like Hate Eternal, but that's not that recent either.
No.
So I mean, yeah, it's really good. It's technical as hell too. Like if you like technical stuff, like it's technical in a riffy sense. It's not like wanky noodling and all that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Dreams of the Carrying Time. Oh my God, that album
Yeah.
is so good.
That album is incredible. But yeah, we're talking with vinyl and stuff, such. This is my pride and joy when it comes to vinyl, is getting my favorite album of all time. And yeah, it's the Walmart edition, but it's battery brick. Part of me wants to open this and listen to it on a vinyl player just to hear the difference, because my dad has a record player, because he actually goes to flea markets almost every weekend and will buy like a box full of like used records, and he'll play them on his player every once in a while. So it's like, I'm curious to take this out, put it put the needle on, and just hear how this sounds in comparison to the CD version. Because after all, it's my favorite of all time.
It's just fun, man, to just throw that needle on there and just for the charm of it, man. Like something
Absolutely.
about it. It doesn't have to be your main consume.
After all, I plan on getting the first 5 Metallicas on vinyl. So far, I only just have this and Justice.
All of my new vinyl.
If that's one of your favorite bands, I mean, I could say that, you know, if you're gonna try vinyl, at least have it be one of your favorite bands. I mean, that.
And in my case, my favorite band of all time.
I mean, the vinyl I have, well, I mean, most people see it because it's in the backdrop of our videos. Like,
yeah,
you know, and those are, you know, untouched. Like, they were gifts. Heartwork was a gift. Fucking Reconfuturefaction. That one was a gift from Rob. He got me that. It was like, it's your birthday today, right? Here you go. I was like, oh. And it's like the slime green one. And I took out the poster and hung it up in my kitchen. It's great for guests because like, that's what I always joke. It's like, yeah, it's a scratch and sniff.
Yeah. I remember that story you and John told on an old video. I think it was the Carcass ranking where John's mom came over and saw that. It was like,
yeah. John's mom's very religious, and she was just kind of looking around my house like, because I mean, it's, you know, metal posters everywhere.
I never want my mom to see my record, like ever.
My mom encourages that. She likes all that shit. Yeah, and I have comic book stuff everywhere.
She tolerates it, though she will listen to Megadeth and Metallica with me. Hell, she's even offered, like, if I ever get to see Metallica live, she wants to come with me. It's like, why not?
My mom's influences are big in like what I listen to too. I mean, you'll see it in the next collection update too. Like a lot of the classic rock stuff that she introduced me to got stuck with me. Like, it was like, dude, this is also like the Cars. The Cars 1978 debut is one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah, and she played that so much, and like every song on that is golden. ZZ Top's Eliminator.
I need to get some ZZ Top. There are so many like classic bands that I've been skipping out on, like Aerosmith, Skinner, ZZ Top, Steve Miller Band.
I mean, honestly, Steve Miller Band's one of the ones you could argue you could just get a greatest hits and it'd be.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what I'll do. But I was going to show off some
like the Bob Segers. Like, they're just, give me the greatest hits. I think I'll be right.
But with Aerosmith, I actually did get a couple of ones on one of my last trips. I just got one, and it was the debut. I want to get at least all of the 70s stuff, like Get Your Wings, Toys in the Attic, Rocks, Draw the Line at Night in the Ruts. Like,
Draw the Line, I got
the 70s material.
I actually have most of that on vinyl. As far as the Aerosmith catalog, that's all I really care about. Like,
because after that in the 80s going forward, it's kind of hit or miss.
Look, Pump had some all right songs. Yeah, Permanent Vacations where I just like, no, I'm done.
And then there's Get a Grip.
Their cover album I thought was all right. I do like the song. What was it? You Gotta Move. I like that, even though Steve's voice was fucking horrible. Like he sounded really rough on that song.
Yeah, like that.
He tried too hard.
I think the last song that was new that I liked by Aerosmith was "Living on the Edge." I thought, all right, this is an all right song.
That is a good one.
But everything after that was like, God, I'm done. And then the Armageddon song dropped. Like, I can't wait to never hear this again.
Yeah.
And then I
will only want to hear Will Ferrell sing it during that Seated Blades of Glory. So call me back.
It's like Steven Tyler looks like a total. He looks like a grandma.
Yeah, he
really does. He really fucking does.
He's the cool grandma that would buy you booze. Like, oh, it's okay, sweetie. Don't worry. Don't tell your mom or dad.
And he's another example of a guy
got the cigarette hanging out.
It's
all right. Don't worry.
But
I was fucking 18 years.
Just 18.
But anyway, so some patches that I have yet to get sewn onto my battle vest because I know nothing about sewing. So I got an Avenged Sevenfold patch from last year in Tennessee.
Wait, you listen to sewing, but you don't know nothing about sewing?
Oh man, Inception.
How to throw one in there? Just
Someone once said recently that Rick has bad jokes and he tells them all the time.
Didn't want to disappoint anybody.
You know what? You just opened up a can of worms. Before I continue, now I gotta tell you a bad joke.
Oh God.
My sex life.
Okay. So here's a joke for everybody. This is gonna be a bit of a setup. I don't know if Nick's heard it before. I may have told it to him, but everybody else. So, an Italian scientist wanted to do an experiment on frogs. So he gets a frog, and he goes, "Jump, froggy, jump!" And the frog jumps about 18 feet. So he writes down his notes, froggy jumps 18 feet. He takes a cleaver, chops a damn leg off of the damn frog, and he goes, "Jump, froggy, jump!" And the frog jumps about 6 feet. So he writes in his notes, froggy with 6 legs, he jumps, or 6 legs, 3 legs, he jumps 6 feet. So he takes the cleaver, chops another damn leg off. Now this poor frog has got 2 legs, and he goes, "Jump, froggy, jump!" And the frog manages to jump about maybe 2 feet. So he writes in his notes, froggy with 2 legs, he jumped 2 feet. Takes a cleaver, chops another damn leg off. Now this poor frog's got only 1 damn leg. And he goes, "Jump, froggy, jump, jump!" And the frog manages to jump about maybe 10 inches or so. So he writes in his notes, froggy with 1 leg, he jumps 10 inches. Takes the cleaver, chops the last remaining leg. Now this frog has no limbs. And he goes, "Jump, froggy, jump." Nothing, of course. "Come on, a froggy, jump." Nothing. "Froggy?" Nothing. So he writes down his notes, froggy with no legs, he becomes deaf.
My dog was ripping ass the whole time I was picking her up, by the way.
I mean, I'm nervous.
Oh, man.
I got a smirk out of you at least, Rick.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, this most recent edition from the Metalhead box.
Anyways.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Absu patch. It's pretty cool.
I need to get into Absu. That's like one of them black and thrash bands I hear so much about. And it's
honestly, every album's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know too many Absu patches, actually. I think that might have been the first one I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know. This Metalhead box was interesting because like both the CDs were from Nuclear War Now, so I don't know. Maybe she got some sort of deal with them. I don't know. I mean, I think they carry patches too. I know their distro's too loaded, and if I spend too much time on there, I'll end up buying everything.
They're a deep place to get pins too, man. Like pins up the ass. Just for, even the most more obscure bands, like they got them.
Yeah, I mean, this one they had it was themed with the packaging, so I have a P-Cells Vic.
Nice.
But yeah, no, this was pretty cool. This was a really cool surprise in there because I mean, you don't see a lot. I looked at it as like, is it Absu or Apsu, which is
with the P.
Yeah, that album's also fucking awesome too. That's got Daniel Gonzalez on guitars on that one.
Ooh, now that's enticing.
And Oh, Death Angel, nice.
Yeah, and actually, some of these patches, there is a record store in my town, but it's mostly just vinyl. They have a very small CD rack, and it's mostly used. But they had some patches there that were really cheap. Like, I think this one was only 50 cents. So you had Death Angel, and then I got Slayer. This one you'll appreciate, Nick, and that's Cro-Mags.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
This actually came with an Eddie patch. This came from the Matter of Life and Death special edition that I got. This one is probably the most unique one that I got. It's Brendan Small's Galacticon.
Oh shit! Yeah, I have
Become the Storm. That came
I
with
have
the
one of those
Galacticon
albums. It's pretty good.
DK Army, my boy, my dude, my dog, my diggity doink, Daniel DK from Exciter.
With the diggity what?
Diggity doink. It's what he says, and I say it too. Scorpions. Scorpions patch. This one, I'm gonna be curious to get a reaction out of. Midnight Satanic Royalty when I got the special edition.
Since our club opened up again, Frankie's here in Toledo, which is kind of our CBGBs. It kind of has that aesthetic. Like, a lot of just underground bands have fucking wrecked that place. But they're back and rebrandished. They're getting shows again. First one's gonna be like Revocation and Unearth and Amtheos and High Command. So, cool, Bill. But
I would love to hear that one.
They're teasing getting Midnight to play. I was like, dude, I am all for it. Please do not burn down the place. It just opened up back.
Yeah.
I need a list of Midnight. I've been.
It's fun,
dude. Midnight. Venom meets Motorhead.
Yeah, it's sleaze. It's so sleazy and so awesome. And
I've always heard samples, but I've not heard a full album. I'm like,
I would say a good starting point would be their last one, Let There Be Witchery. That's a good starting.
I mean the one before that one's
Rebirth from Blasphemy is really good too. Smallest patch I got is a Cannibal Corpse patch that my local shop had.
Tiny.
It is pretty tiny.
It's doing the best it can.
Yeah. Dio.
Yes.
Yeah, Dio patch.
Always respectable.
Old Trivium logo patch.
There you go.
And then this one was pretty special. Entombed AD, Bowels of Earth.
I have that one someplace.
These two, I got Deicide, Stench of Redemption, and Napalm Death Scum when I got the albums. Ooh. And then I got 3 more, and I got me a Dark Throne patch, Morbid Angel patch, and then the creme de la creme will be my banner patch, Megadeth. When I went to the show last year, this was one of the things I wanted the most. So, in theory, this will go above Creator Pleasure to Kill on the back.
Yeah, I haven't figured out what a banner piece is going to be on the next one I'm working on. I mean, like I say, I'm working on. I point where I want the patches. My mom's cool enough because she's got a sewing machine and she knows how to make quilts, and she's like, okay, I can do that. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Well, there's a decision process, right? Where the stuff's going to be placed. You design the blueprint of.
I had my cousin Chloe, who just came back home from Italy a month ago. I had her do sewing on my jacket. Actually, I haven't even worn it in forever.
I haven't worn mine in forever. It's been too damn hot. Like
Yeah.
I want to wear my battle vest for the show.
I was tempted to wear it at Gojira and Mastodon, but yeah, it would have been a pain.
Like, it's going to be Thursday where I'm at. It's going to be high of 1.
It's supposed to be 97 here Thursday.
It was 97 today for me.
It's going to be gross.
Well,
it's going to be.
Thankfully, starting Saturday, it's going to cool down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like low 80s, high 70s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like all the sports, they've all been canceled this whole week. Friday it's going to be like somewhere in the 80s a little bit, so maybe they get pulled off. Yeah, because we're supposed to have a football game for the high school, but I'm like, dude, it was hard for me to even breathe outside yesterday. That's how terrible it was.
I mean, here it's been, since all the Canadian wildfires and all that getting pushed over here, we've had like during the day it looks like Silent Hill. Like you can only see so far on the horizon. And we've had a couple more days like that recently, and we might get some more days like that in the fucking future.
That hit my school, I think, a week or two before school started, and it smelled like DiGiorno's out there, for Christ's sake. I'm like, did somebody burn a pizza?
No, they're just burning everything. It was wild. Like it was when John was fucking moving. We had to move during that shit. So being outside is like this feels great, breathing all of this and lifting heavy objects. But we drove to pick up a mattress and we're like looking on the horizon like, dude, like I can't see shit out here. This is crazy. This is in the middle of the day.
John, I can't hear you. It's too foggy out here.
I felt weird. Like I don't feel like I should actually be smoking out here, but I'm gonna have a cigarette.
It would just blend in.
It was like all of Toledo was walking through a fucking smoky bar in the 90s.
Or going through a smoke shack, basically.
Or an AA meeting.
Yeah. But actually, with this vest, probably my biggest pride and joys this patch for my podcast, the Horseman podcast, our former co-host from Germany, Hannah, actually had these custom made for everybody. Oh, yeah. And then probably my favorite button, beat Michigan for the Buckeyes. I'm so happy to have that on here.
That's for James.
You gotta fit the Midnighter somewhere if you're going to Ohio.
I know. It's just, and also it's a process of trying to figure out where to place them all. Like obviously this will go.
Well, you gotta get a sanguine shish kebab patch too.
Because I'd be like, what the fuck does that say?
Santa smoking bomb. Sandra Bullock's boobs. What?
Hold on now.
Actually, I'm about to make a quick live addition to the vest. Just a second.
You're gonna break out a stapler?
No. I wish. No. I got the new Shooter album. I got the special edition that came with the Bathory covers EP and a Shooter button. So now that I remembered, I'm going to go ahead and put this on next to my DK Army one. Well, how the hell?
Yeah, I got the regular edition. That new Shooter album's awesome, though.
It's so good. Probably my favorite black metal album of the year, probably.
That one's tough because I have a bit more black metal on my list this time. God, what else? Spirit Possession. And I also have Ulthar, both of those albums on there. So that dude can write riffs, just insane riffs. But I also got Downfall of Gaia and The Last Imperium Decadence are also in the running. And I anticipate Wolves in the Throne Room is going to be pretty awesome. Black Braid.
I keep forgetting to check out that Black Braid album. So
it's good.
There's quite a few. There's quite a few that I've heard about that I haven't checked, like Monstrous, Body Farm, Black Braid.
Body Farm's fun.
You have to check them out.
Yeah, that new Shooter album, dude. That song "Gods of Black Blood" and maybe one of my favorite songs of the year.
The title track. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's cold. It's evil. I mean, Shooter's pretty consistent.
Which, speaking of which, I got some new stuff that I got a couple weeks ago at the store, and it's only 7, so ain't gonna go too long with it. But I got Danzig 3: How the Gods Kill.
Never been much of a Danzig fan.
It's mainly known for Dirty Black Summer.
I know that song. I know that video.
I haven't heard this full album in full, but I did hear a couple tracks. Do You Wear the Mark? That's an absolute banger of a track. This one I got randomly Dark Funeral Vobiscum Satanas. This came after their debut. Secret of the Black Arts came out in '96, and I haven't jammed full Dark Funeral. I do know of them, and I did know they released an album last year that I wanted to check out. But I didn't have enough time to. But
it was.
I'm willing to bet this is going to be pretty good. Even though this is my least favorite album of theirs, I still love this album.
That's your least favorite? Oh my god, that's one of my favorites.
Mine too.
It's hard.
I mean, again, with death, it could change on a whim.
Yeah, I struggled in that deep dive. Damn it!
If only I could have been there for that deep dive, that would have been tough.
The only complaints I really have about this album is production's a bit weird. I don't know, just the drums sound so tight. Like I don't know why the drums sound very tight. Chuck's got weird vocal effects on him. I don't know.
Mostly reverb.
Yeah, well, he's got some of the weird phaser stuff in there too.
And a couple tracks are mad. Like, I mean, I love almost every track. Living Monstrosity, Ultra in the Future's got like this big doomy.
Ultra in the Future.
Yeah, that big growl.
I mean, but the title track though, top 5 though.
Oh, that tapping intro right away.
Yeah.
That's a mood setting.
Yeah, but if you thought that was weird at the time, comparing that to Human, it's like fucking
or even comparing that to Leprosy, like it's a weird transitional album, but it doesn't go one way. I don't know. I love it.
It's like you get the classic death metal Leprosy and kind of the hinting of where they were going to go with Human.
Yeah, perfect balance.
Absolutely.
I know you like.
Gosh.
Night bros.
Oh,
he looks like he's drunk.
It's just really good at holding still.
He's like Drax the Destroyer. I have mastered the art at standing perfectly.
If you guys have a day job where you got to deal with this shit, man, it makes the meeting drag out longer. It sucks.
All right, we'll just sit here and wait.
Sit here and wait for him to get out of his drunk face.
Now, right?
He looks like he's about to yell out a whippersnapper.
Man, are you guys familiar with Krigsgrav?
Krigsgrav.
It's kind of a band out of Texas. It's kind of they play it's black metal, but it's quite melodic. Lately it started as a one man thing and it turned into like a full band. But they just released a new album. It's pretty good, man. It kind of I mean, if you like some of the post elements, like bands like Fen,
so that's the band I still haven't yet to really dive in.
That new Fen's good, man.
All right.
I mean, I've heard Fen gets compared to like Agalok a lot, and I do love Agalok, so maybe Fen would be a good step up.
It's kind of like a UK Agalok, I guess, in some way.
Okay, I love Agalok, so all right. It's a band I guess I need to check out. And I've also been doing an EP list so far too, and it's been some fun EPs. That Hyperdontia EP I think is absolutely excellent. There were some people that hated it too. Like no, it's too clean sounding. It's like it still sounds like dirty '90s death metal. Like yeah, but I want it to be swampier. Like do you just want it to sound like shit? Like
right. You want it to sound like Morbid Visions?
I need it to sound like a copy of a demo that's been copied like 300 times.
Okay, I'm back. My internet decides to shit on me around this time for no apparent reason.
Yeah, you helped Bill for a little bit there.
You were like Drax the Destroyer mastering the art of standing perfectly still with a drunk face, like you were about to yell at a little kid for being too loud. Shut the hell up, you stupid little bastards!
You look like you had to sneeze and the Matrix just glitched on you.
Anywho, here's what I was about to show you.
Terrible album.
Okay. In its album's defense, the band warned everyone, you ain't gonna probably like it.
That still doesn't mean like that's a horrible thing. Listen, we're about to release a piece of shit. Avoid it.
I would gladly listen to this over Demolition. I will gladly listen to this.
No, I don't want to listen either.
Only because this album had a direction. It was a rock album with. It was progressive.
It was a rock opera.
A rock opera with progressive and power metal elements. Like, there's good tracks like Prophecy, Revelations, War, Death.
The song Death is my favorite out of the whole bunch because that's basically Priest playing doom metal, and it was really good.
I would listen to Jugulator over that. I might listen to Turbo over that one.
Hey, Jugulator kicks ass.
Jugulator I think is underrated.
Yeah, because eventually I got to rank Priest, and Jugulator might rank a little higher than.
There's some good songs there, dude. Dead Meat's a fucking
Cathedral
ripper.
Spires.
Cathedral Spires.
That's probably the best Ripper Owens.
I don't like Ripper and much of anything else.
Owens just pretends that album that never existed. You know, they just kind of moved on. Yeah. That thing, there's a big gap in the night.
That was with the
That was with the Halford clone, quote unquote. I mean, dude, the title track has like a doomy beginning. It sounds fucking evil.
There's like galloping blasts in there.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Levi, you're going to love me for this one.
Yeah.
Mastodon.
Dude, Aqua Dementia. Oh man, dude, every track on there. Every fucking track.
They played Aqua Dementia, Megalodon, Iron Tusk, and Blood and Thunder live.
For that album, that's why you get those $8,000 speakers because of that album.
Actually, yeah, the production on there is fucking amazing.
Oh god, yeah. Especially for their sophomore outing too. I mean, 2004 was a fucking killer year for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a pair from Vader. I have the Empire from 2016 and Litany from 2000.
I need to get Litany.
Yeah, Litany's good. Litany's. I mean, saying a Vader album's fast is like, saying but Vader plays fast.
Blue, yeah.
But yeah, that album is intense.
I've been trying to find Black from the Blind, I think was what it was, the third album. I cannot find that anywhere.
I got a weird reprint of it. I got pretty much I think I got every Vader album, and I got a recent reissue of their first demo, the one that Dark was really inspired by. It's good.
Yeah,
I need to find Necrolust.
Oh, God, I forget where I got that through. It might have been through. It was definitely through a distro.
The death metal burst strikes again.
Some of these got pushed. Like the Profundus was pushed like a lot, and that that was pretty easy to find. After
they just reissued that one too. Finally, that is such a vicious sounding album too. Here lately though, man, their last couple. All right, now the Empire was okay. Their last one was
Solitude and Madness.
Oh my god, absolute beast of an album. Welcome to Morbid Reich and Itty, whatever the
I really like that one.
That album's really awesome.
One. Was it what album was it that had their cover of Fight Fire with Fire on it? Was that in
Necropolis.
Necropolis, that's what. Dude, that cover's good.
That cover rips.
I actually want to get that first Back from the Past covers album they did because they really killed quite a few songs, especially them Terrorizer covers. Wow, they really went blazing on those.
The Depeche Mode covers were the ones that threw me off. I was like, all right. I mean, you made it sound like Vader, but okay, which one did they cover? It was also on De Profundis too, I think. Which one was it? I Feel You.
Some of these bands allow room for those experimental, just weird, like Slayer had the covers album, right? And then, and then Vader, and then
about that. Wait,
in '96, that was a weird year for.
So the other day, I was over at the record store, right? I'm looking for an Atlanta Malevolent Creation, and they didn't have it. You know what they had? They had 5 copies of Joe Black sitting there, and I'm like, what the? Nobody's buying it.
Yeah, I've seen that one sitting on a UCD bin. Like, no, like literally, give me any other one.
Right.
Like, I mean, I even own was Enslaved with the really, really wrong song.
Look at the guy. Like, this ain't moving, right? It's going to be internally.
Song.
That's just like whenever I went to
the music on there that they did the album cover, because the album cover is just like, wow, you're not even trying.
That's just like when I went to Tennessee last year and I went to the Shop the Rhythm section. There was like 15 fucking copies of that Five Finger Cousin Fuck album. It's like, and you wonder why they're still here.
I mean, well, I'm pretty sure if they were in Walmart, they'd be in the bin. But
God, Ricky
did that
one time. He sent me a video on Instagram of him out of Walmart, and he had the album in his hand, and he took a trash can out from the shelf, and he literally dropped it in the bin and went, "See
like,
ya."
You put it in the bin with all the fucking like Steven Seagal movies.
Hey, what's wrong with Steven Seagal?
Literally everything. Like, here lately, dude, it's vanity project after vanity project. His movies are beyond terrible now. Like, if you look at some of the recent ones, he gets stunt doubles for just walking, and they always weigh like about 50 pounds less than him.
There's nothing real about that guy. I don't think his hair is real. Like,
nope,
he has a worse Eddie Munster hairdo than I do.
Yeah, he sculpted that widow's peak.
You know what he should do? Like, kind of what Travolta did. Remember, like, when he started losing his hair, he was in denial for like a while, and then finally he fessed up. He's like, it's just easier and cleaner to just go fucking bald and have the world made. I just go on with my life. Seagal refuses to do that.
Was it like male pattern baldness?
Oh well, he was balding early on in like the early movies. Like, you could tell, like, Hard Target and shit like that. It was around then. It was like, why does it look like someone colored this in with Sharpie? And then it just got progressively more and more and more fake. And I mean, you look at all the fights he's in, or at least, like all the fights they kind of chop, because they chop a lot out to make him seem faster. Because, like, again, there's not much that is legit about him. His hair doesn't move. His hair doesn't, like, he can be taken. Well, actually, think about how many times you've seen Steven Seagal in a fight scene where he's actually losing even for a second. That doesn't happen. It's like, I come in, I whoop everyone's ass, and no one touches me. Because, delicate ego. Very delicate ego. Yeah, if I've watched more people make fun of his recent movies than anything else lately. And
what was his most recent one?
Oh God, dude! I think he lives in Romania now, so I guess he's able to churn out movie after movie.
Didn't he want to be a sheriff at some town at some point before he moved?
God,
it was so. I remember that.
Let's see.
It's insane enough to get this guy
down the receiver line.
I can't remember that one movie he did when the guy in the car was trying to teach him how to say "I," and he's like, "I." How's that?
See, his most recent movie was in 2019 called Beyond the Law. And
original.
He was a running joke even back then. Like, watch those old Mad TV parodies. Like
Will Sasso.
You see that one with David Carradine? That's probably the funniest one.
All of them. They extra squinty-eyed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's Steven Seagal. Like, dude, watch. What was it? Oh, something like Ice Pirate or something like that is a channel. He does like these parody like reviews of Steven Seagal movies, and they are fucking priceless. He talks like this over every scene and explains how fucking dumb Steven Seagal is. Dude, like picking apart the shitty fucking, editing, acting, the fact that Steven Seagal at like 60 something, actually 71 now, always has like, The hottest women always want to fuck him. This human dumpling with a fake beard on. They all want it.
Why is he sound like Triple H? All he needs is the ugh.
Yeah. Dude, he's just, oh, God. I mean, he's more fun to make fun of.
Would you rather have Steven Seagal direct your movie or have Michael Bay direct your movie?
Oh, God.
Michael Bay could still probably pull some hot chicks. Now you get to watch them blow
the
up.
Only Michael Bay movie I really like was, what was it called?
The Rock.
It was what?
The Rock. I mean, most people say The Rock.
No, his the Secret 12 Hours of Bang Zing, I think that's what it's called. It's some kind of war movie that was, I think, based on a true story. That's actually a really good movie. But everything Michael Bay has touched has turned into dog shit. Like,
exploding dog shit.
Yeah. He ruined Ninja Turtles. He ruined classic horror movie remakes when the whole Platinum Dunes thing. I'm like, why do we need a remake of the? Okay, you have the remake of The Hitcher, and you have Sean Bean, and yet he is the most unintimidating motherfucker you can possibly think.
It's because he dies in every movie.
Did somebody say boom?
No, what was the Dune remakes? It was Nightmare on Elm Street, The Hitcher, Friday the 13th, Amityville Horror, if you guys remember that one.
Oh, the one with Ryan Reynolds. I was like, dude, I love Ryan Reynolds, but that role, that's a stretch, man. Like, I'm sure he's got acting talent, but I don't, because it's Ryan Reynolds. I just don't believe I'm the murderous father that's going to get possessed by the devil.
He might have done worse with Green Lantern, right before they moved him over to a proper role, like in Deadpool.
Yeah. Like they were like perfect role. Perfect, because he's known for the quips and the one-liners, and he's fucking great at it.
I can't wait for Deadpool 3 next week.
Why not get Josh Brolin? Like, dude, your dad did this role. I would believe that you would murder people.
Yeah.
Like,
it's kind of like saying, it's kind of like saying Pee Wee Herman's going to go on a killing spree. Recipes.
Yeah, no, you might as well cast Pee Wee Herman in that role too. Like, yeah, that makes about as much sense as Ryan Reynolds. I didn't necessarily mind the Friday the 13th remake. I thought that one was all right. The Nightmare on Elm Street one I wouldn't even watch. I was like, no, you can't.
It was so bad Rooney Mara about quit acting. That's how bad it was. The only thing that could have worked was the whole concept of like micro naps, but they did nothing with that. And then this whole thing of, Freddie might have been innocent. And yet they flipped the script one day saying he wasn't a child killer, he was a child molester. That is almost bad, if not worse. Like,
either way, I mean, they're trying to make him despicable. All right, my thing with a lot of modern horror, save like a handful of movies, like most modern horror is more about jump scares than it is story.
Yeah.
Like, we'll hit you with a frightening image, but the story itself, like, there's been exceptions to the rule, like Heredity. Heredity is a lot about story, and it's fucking creepy and unsettling. Or The Void, which is awesome Lovecraftian horror with great practical effects. But yeah, most horror now is like, all right, now I'm just gonna sit through a bunch of fucking jump scares. Like, oh, it's creepy, but where's the tension?
Yeah. Looking at you, Fire 2.
But back to Ryan Reynolds, you want to know what I think is his most underrated movie? Waiting.
Yes, I
love that movie so much.
I made a sequel to that too.
I mean, it's true. Like it's true in the sense, like, like Clerks was for being a clerk. I echoed a lot of the sentiments in there because I worked in a gas station with my buddy for years, and was like, yeah, no, I get this movie. And
once they announced the third one was coming, it was like, I didn't believe that would actually happen, but shit.
Yeah, shit. I mean, one of my favorite comedies, at least it was, and then it happened, was Idiocracy. And now, I know, I love that movie, I really do, but I can't watch it now. It hurts now. Yeah.
You know what? I'll still put my over for Camacho.
I mean, I'm just waiting for people to start calling each other Scro.
Oh, God.
I used to call people that every now and then as a joke, and Now I'm just waiting for it to actually happen because Mike Judge might be a prophet. He might be.
This might be a random question. What's y'all's favorite Robin Williams movie?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know.
Fuck.
Because the last few movies he made was pretty much to fucking pay his ex-wives. It was like a lot of what was it like a lot? He ran to a lot of financial. He had to make these movies he didn't want to do.
I'm still partial to the Night of the Museum series when he was
Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh yeah. He was good. He was good in that.
Man,
Flubber. I really liked Flubber.
We bringing down comedy and drama.
Any.
I mean, Dead Poet Society. I thought he was absolutely
favorite
fantastic.
like drama and comedy. Go.
And then you got the odd ones, right? Like which is like not funny at all, actually.
No.
Death to Smoochie. Death to Smoochie is fucking brilliant.
God, that one's great. With the dip cookies to all the kids.
Not a rocket. It's a cock. Rumple Ford skin.
Oh, jeez.
God, man.
That was the one he did with Pacino. Insomnia.
That movie is creepy.
Wait, which
I actually didn't know he was in it. I rented it at Blockbuster, like going back in the day, because Pacino was on it. I didn't know Robin Williams was on it. I didn't do my research. Popped that thing in there. I was like, oh, he's in this. Okay.
Dude, he was great. Like, very quiet. Oh, go ahead.
Memento's another one. That was a Christopher Nolan film. That one's fucking weird.
I like that movie. That was the first Christopher Nolan movie I think I ever saw. But God, I'm trying to think.
You also have like the obvious ones: Jumanji, Aladdin, Goodwill Hunt, Hook. That one.
Yeah, Hook.
With a young Dante Bosco.
Yes.
I gotta admit, I've seen this Hellfire a million times. When get back in the day.
Deep cut here. I mean, if you're a Terry Gilliam fan, The Fisher King.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. With,
what was his name?
Oh, is it Jeff Bridges or is it? Yeah, no, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really weird. Oh, Moscow on the Hudson.
Oh, good morning.
The Russian. He defects.
Dead Poet Society.
Great movie. Kind of hard to watch at points.
Yeah.
But excellent. He did a great job in that movie.
Oh, what was that one movie called where his wife... the movie is about where Robin Williams' wife committed suicide and he's trying to get...
Oh, what dreams may come. God, that movie is a tearjerker.
It is.
Like, oh my God. Actually, you know what? This one's way up there because it covers just about every base I love about Robin Williams. Good Morning, Vietnam.
I was just going to say, because that movie, you see, I mean, it's so full of energy back in the 80s, man. Like, I think that was his lead up to doing something. Who else could have done the genie, man? Like, that role was.
I thought the Earth was supposed to move until the honeymoon.
The words per minute coming out of it. Vietnam was cowards.
Never met a man more dire need of a blowjob than you, sir.
Okay, I gotta admit, I love Will Smith, I really do, but I'm sorry, him as the genie was a fucking terrible.
That was stupid.
I just don't like the idea of live action remakes of classic animated features.
That's all they're doing now. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The only one has been the Jungle Book. And I like The Lion King to a lesser extent, even though it really wasn't that great.
Disney is banking on Marvel series and Star Wars series to keep them afloat. Mm-hmm. And luckily those have been pretty decent. So, but yeah, at the same time, like in terms of a Disney feature, like I've heard rumblings that they want to do like a prequel series for Captain Nemo in terms of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which I'd be behind. I love that movie.
I need to know who's behind that though.
I think the last like Disney Pixar feature I watched was Cars 3 when it came out.
The last one,
not when it came out, but afterwards.
It was the one about the emotions, and I didn't like it.
Inside Out.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I was like, dude, this is a bummer. Like,
That's the
I don't like
point.
any of these characters.
That's the point.
I get it, but like at the same time, like it was missing a lot of the, the whimsical charm. Like, like my personal favorite is like probably The Incredibles from Pixar. I think that's still just a great movie.
Oh man, favorite Pixar though. I'm still partial to the first 3 Toy Stories.
The third one, I legit cried.
That third one, that is a tearjerker in its own right.
I mean,
oh my god.
Sad things happening to an old man.
That funeral scene. Oh my god.
Wally's up there, one of my favorites. Dude,
Wally's great.
A Bug's Life is underrated.
That one, was that even Pixar? I thought that was just a
that was Pixar. That was Pixar.
The thing about Wally is it's going to happen.
That was Pixar's second movie.
Giant trash heap. I see it happening already.
Yeah. I mean, well,
after all, I can't get that image.
Idiocracy part, and then we get to the giant trash heap.
Yep.
I can't. Now that I say A Bug's Life, I still can't unsee that Terracite cover, thinking it looks like Hopper with dick skin.
Hopper's for
it does. I heard they're finally going to do a third Tron movie.
Really?
I don't know if they get Daft Punk to do the score again, like that. I love the score to that last one. I've heard they're supposed to possibly make a Cars 4, and that it's going to be back to a similar tone of the second one. I like the second one. Yeah, it was mostly spy espionage with Mater, but I thought it was entertaining.
Oh, I like Larry the Cable Guy, and I love Owen Wilson. Yeah. Oh wow! But I'm sorry. Why the fuck would you have a? Oh my god, that movie broke me. I'm like, look,
Cars 2.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the first one. I will admit.
I love the first one so much. I went to a drive-in theater to watch that.
I mean, that's perfect, right?
Yeah, I mean, perfect setting. And Paul Newman being in there really.
We weren't the right age when those movies came out. That's the thing, man. Like if I was a 5-year-old watching Cars for the first time, I mean, I would want that race car bed. Like it's like something.
Hell, I was 12 when that came out, and I would get the Happy Meals to get Mater and Lightning and Doc Hudson. I still had some of those. I don't know what happened to them, but the Mater one I love because I just love Larry the Cable Guy.
The movie I was addicted to when it comes to Pixar, not because it was released the year I was born, Finding Nemo. I love that.
I'm shocked they haven't decided to do a Finding Marlin trilogy.
That
because they've done Nemo, they've done Dory. Why not Finding Marlin? The final piece of the puzzle.
My thing is, Ellen annoys me though, man.
Well, yeah, dude, Ellen's kind of become kind of the villain here lately. Like legit, like all the people coming out that said, like, yeah, dude, she's a bitch, and she puts on this false face of being such a kind and giving person, and she like legit is just kind of fucking mean.
Yeah.
And honestly, my most watched Disney movie of all time is such a deep cut that most people probably haven't seen it. The Black Hole.
You know what's funny? Actually, I got some racing friends.
Around 1979, I believe.
Oh, I thought you said Pixar, and I'm like, what?
It was Disney's first PG-rated movie. It was
really
I haven't seen it, but I know of it. Because what's funny, I got some buddies who are into racing that almost every week on Discord we would get in a call and we would do Disney Jeopardy, because there's that Inside the Magic channel who does Disney Jeopardy every Sunday.
You ever seen this guy?
Oh man!
Oh, wow.
This is one of the villains in Disney's The Black Hole.
Wait, are you talking about the Black Cauldron?
No, The Black Hole. This is a sci-fi movie.
A mix between like the Sentinels and Juggernaut.
Yeah, this little weapon right here spun around. It actually gutted Anthony Perkins. Yeah, Anthony Perkins from Psycho was in there. Ernest Borgnine, Robert Forrester, Maximilian Schnell. Yeah, it had some names in it. Roddy McDowell was the voice of one of the robots. But it ended up tanking because it came out after Star Wars and it didn't do as well. And plus, Disney was trying to pioneer new territory. They were trying to get into PG movies because the guy that was in charge, like, listen, we've already cornered the market on the family shit. Like, we got it. Let's get some stuff that adults are actually going to be able to get in there.
During the Renaissance era, where Disney was being a little more dark and a little more.
This is definitely dark. Like I said, you had deaths that were live action. You had, more. I mean, like super realistic violence, but it had a darker tone. Like it didn't. Like, all right, if it didn't say Buena Vista Productions and you were watching it, you would at no point think that this was a Disney movie, especially the end of it, which was kind of slapped together, but like visions of hell and burning and it is the most un-Disney movie that Disney ever made, and it's actually worth a watch. It's not the best.
They were kind of fiddling with that, with like Beauty and all that stuff, where Maleficent was like, I call all the powers of hell, basically. By the way, fuck that remake. Maleficent, fuck.
I think the toy lines are allowed to do it too, man. That's why Star Wars is so successful. They push those toy lines, man. Like that's why movies like Dune was not as friendly for a younger audience, right? And there was no like the toy line to push.
But I was gonna say, if you want to know my opinion on the most underrated Disney movie, Emperor's New Groove.
That's funnier than hell.
That is so great. That's probably the movie I've quoted the most, especially recently, because over on my Twitch streams, I would have sound alerts of pull the lever, Crunk, wrong lever. Why do we even have that lever?
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt. Patrick Warburton.
I love Patrick Warburton.
I love Patrick Warburton, everything he does.
Doesn't Patrick Warburton also voice
Joe from Family Guy?
And he also voices Ken from the B-Movie.
Yeah, he also voices Brock Sampson on Venture Brothers.
He also was he was also Stone, the bodyguard in Scream 3. That originally Stone Cold Steve Austin was supposed to be that role, but he had to have the neck surgery, so he couldn't do it. So that's why they went with Patrick Warburton instead. Could you imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin playing that bodyguard in Scream 3 and then getting killed? I would have been. If I was a kid and I saw that, I'd be crying. It's like, no, you killed my favorite.
I vaguely remember Scream 3. I saw the first two Scream movies in theaters, and then by the time Scream 3 came out, I was like,
It went way too meta.
First one's good. First one is smart.
I love the first three. The fourth one was, and I haven't even seen the latest ones, but it's like, why bother?
I have a friend of mine that's absolutely elated that they're doing Scream movies again. I was like, yeah, but like the joke is kind of over. Like, because it was clever commentary on slashers and making fun of the tropes within the movie, but also making it serious at the same time. Like,
it's like when they're already making parody movies of which it's time to wrap it up. Like, it's like I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's like at some point
you achieved maximum meta, so just you're good. You're good. Let it be a standalone, like you did 3 movies. Fine, you have a trilogy.
Yeah, the trilogy, that's perfect.
Wrap it up. Kill everybody. I don't care. Just wrap it up.
Going back to with Emperor's New Groove, I watched a video, what was it called? 10 Dirty Jokes Hidden in Disney, I think, by Matthew Santaro. He talked about Emperor's New Groove, and that one scene where Gronk has the little tent with him. It's over.
Yes, it's over his crotch.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that's funny. And he's like, that's supposed to mean something like, oh.
Pitching a tent.
He's about, what? Oh, this had better be good.
No, you want to know another underrated Disney movie? I was obsessed with this movie growing up because my dad loved it. The Great Mouse Detective.
I remember that one. Wasn't Vincent Price?
Vincent Price played Ratigan. He played you could not have asked for a better villain than Vincent Price.
Oh, how about Tim Curry was always good for those dramatic voiceover roles.
Yeah. He's some of my favorite character actors, like Tim Curry's got to be up there.
Oh yeah. I mean, Gary Oldman.
Yep.
It took me
Meredith.
It took me a long time to realize that Tim Curry was in
Fern Gully.
No, it was Home Alone 2, where he played one of the
hotel guys,
the owner,
and a young Rob Schneider too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a franchise that's fallen from grace ever since the second one. Look no further than Home Alone.
Yeah.
No, the third one
stopped after the second one.
Like the third one was okay, but was unnecessary. Fourth one was terrible. They had an unknown fifth one called Holiday Heist, which was like a direct or what the hell is it called? Direct to DVD movie, basically. I'm like, it's okay. Home Alone is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Oh my god, that movie's fucking terrible.
Wait, the third one was the last movie that what's his name? The guy that did Home Alone, 16 Candles.
John Hughes.
Hughes, yeah. I think the third Home Alone was the last movie he did before he died.
Oh, really? Shit.
I think it was. And it was terrible.
That thing to know.
Yeah.
You have Home Alone with spy movie elements. That does not work.
I mean, Home Alone 2 was all right. Like, that one was the one, because, I mean, right, a little bit of suspension of disbelief with all the injuries and everything.
Especially with the
second one, like as soon as they get there and he's chucking bricks, like dude, Marv's dead. He's dead. He's done.
They've remade the same movie.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Expanded.
8?
Yeah.
Like, if that was real life, there's no way those guys would have lived. Because
especially Harry with his hair on fire and dipping his head into a toilet filled with gasoline.
Those two guys make the movie, though, man. Like Joe Pesci, like Daniel Stern, like they got good actors,
Yeah. But it was always so entertaining to watch Joe Pesci try to not curse during those Home Alone movies. That was maybe the best part of the movies, was just to watch him try to not curse.
Marv also did that too. What the hell was the actor's name? Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern.
No, the one behind the scene one was when they got his shoe in, and he was like, shit. And they were trying so hard not to curse because Macaulay Culkin was like, what, 11 or 10 at that time? They were trying so hard not to curse. Yeah. They were like, shit. And they're like, crap. Shit.
They tried so hard. That's basically like if Samuel L. Jackson tried so hard to not curse during a Marvel movie.
I mean,
the closest you got him was during that shitty Captain Marvel movie where he holding the Flurkin cat. God, mother Flurkin! I thought he actually said that, dropped the F-bomb, but no, they saved the first F-bomb in the MCU for Star-Lord and Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Open the fucking door.
Which I still need to watch that in full.
I
need to find the time to watch.
You talk about like the F-bomb kings, man. Like you got Samuel L. Jackson, and of course, Pesci's like the kind of
up there too.
The Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights. I swear to God, every other word is fuck in that movie. And it's
Harlem
great.
Globetrotters.
No, Harlem Nights. It's got Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor.
It's one of his.
Oh my God, Richard Pryor! That's a name.
Yes.
It was a great movie. I love that movie. Like my mom used to rent that one all the time. But listen, you can't repeat like 90% of the words here. But okay, I'm not making that promise. Like really,
as long as I can watch it, I'm good.
Yeah. I watched a lot of shit I shouldn't have as a kid. Like
Animal I did House. Too. Jackass, Half Baked.
We used to have a video rental when I was growing up. I got to watch whatever the hell I wanted. It's great.
I still say my favorite Broken Lizard movie is still Beer Fest.
I mean, Beer Fest is fucking great. I love that movie.
And kind of underrated Slammin' Salmon I thought was pretty fun too.
Still haven't seen that one. Club Dread was fun.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Oh, yeah.
Slam and Salmon. That one had Michael Clark
Turn it
Duncan and Kobe Smulders in it. Oh my God, Michael Clark Duncan owned in that movie. One part when he's talking to, Kevin Hufferman. Is that who it is? There's a scene where he's talking to him, and that Jay, I can't pronounce his last name. It's so messed up. But yeah, he's saying, like, I punched an alpaca in the head so hard I almost decapitated him. And Jay's like, it's decapitated, champ? Whatever, motherfucker! And scares him shitless and walks. Or later on, where he's having dinner with a Yakuza guy. And he's like, did you know that the maraschino cherries was named after the boxer Rocky Marciano? It's actually Rocky Marciano. Whatever, motherfucker!
That man had the deepest voice.
So
Yeah, that surprised me, man. When I heard about it, I was
yeah,
like,
11 years ago.
Why did every time I think you did an impersonation, I kept thinking of J.K. Simmons? I don't know why.
Another funny one, man.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
Is it bad I mostly know him in the Spider-Man movies?
Well, dude, J. Jonah Jameson, he owned that character.
Yeah.
He's
Thank God he still plays him.
About all the castings, that's the one.
Him in that first movie was like, I would say, the best thing of the whole first movie. The first movie was good, but J. Jonah Jameson was fucking gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
He even voices the character on the animated shows too.
Oh, he popped up again in the one of the most recent Spider-Man too.
Oh yeah,
No Way Home.
But they put a spin on it, which was clever because they made him kind of like oh god damn it, the dipshit that got sued by everyone. Alex Jones. There we go.
Oh,
they made him like an InfoWars sort of stereotype, and it was like, that's perfect. That is the modern J. Jonah Jameson. Because like, I'm just gonna make up some shit and people are gonna believe me.
Yep.
They'll buy my coffee mugs.
Oh, what is he scared? If we're gonna, what was the line? He said something about Angelina Jolie in a thong. We get a pic of this weirdo's face or something like that.
And I don't know, I forget what the hell is the name of that one new like adult superhero show where there's a character who looks exactly like J. Jonah Jameson.
Invincible. That's a great
Invincible. Series. Yeah, and there's that one character, Mega Man, Omni-Man.
Yeah,
I think Omni-Man, who looks exactly like J. Jonah Jameson and J.K. Simmons' voices.
Murderous Superman. Holy shit! That like, I kind of went into that one just because I heard a lot of hype about it. And yeah,
is this like a show on Hulu or something like that?
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's a really well written show. I guess it's a comic, but yeah, they did an excellent job with it. Like lots of surprise voice casting in there and animation solid. Like, dude, honestly, it's one of the best animated series I've seen recently, outside of like Castlevania, because that first Castlevania run is incredible and going to come back. Except it's going to be Richter Belmont now.
I still say my favorite animated show of all time, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That one was good.
I still love that show.
I feel like I was kind of aged out on that because I saw it was on Nickelodeon, so I just kind of skipped it.
Yeah,
it's honestly shouldn't have been a Nickelodeon show. It was like
I heard it was really good.
The themes of it did not feel like a Nickelodeon.
It should have been on Cartoon Network, if I'm going to be honest.
It had had a sense of quality. You can tell it was a little different than everything else.
It was like a hybrid of traditional animation and anime. It was like right in between. And man, the voice casting on there was so good. Like Dante Bosco, Mark Hamill doing Firelord Ozai, and fucking so many others. They even got Mick Foley to do a voice for a couple of episodes. Serena Williams for one episode. Robert Patrick.
I might have to go with the '90s Batman animated series.
Oh, dude, that was one of the best ever. God, rest in peace, fucking Kevin Conroy, man. That bummed me out.
Oh man, when I saw that, I was just bummed out. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I watched a little bit Justice League Unlimited too. Justice League Unlimited, I think, is one of the most underrated series that DC ever did.
Samurai Jack. Oh my god, that one was.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yes, of course.
Metalocalypse. Metalocalypse, of course. I still love my SpongeBob. I enjoy it. I've kind of mostly the first 3-4 seasons.
The first seasons, they actually had shit like for adults in there, man. Like you could walk away with. Like there was actually they kind of went over to kids' heads.
I still say to this day, Band Geeks is still the best SpongeBob episode ever.
That was a fun one. I don't know. I there's so many old episodes I love. Like, just because on YouTube, I don't know if it's still on there. Somebody did an edited version of Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, where they changed it to Squidward the Unfriendly Whore, and they literally put in voiceover from Metalocalypse in there.
Oh wow! It all comes full circle.
I got it on my computer too. It's so fucking stupid, but
I'm trying to think. Like there were some other ones I used to. Well, I mean, very short-lived. I think you have to have the DVD for it. The Clerks animated series. Yeah.
I seen some of that once on Adult Swim years ago.
Well, I only lasted one season, and yeah, I mean, it was good. It just, I think they targeted the wrong media market because I think they were going for like ABC or NBC or something like that. And it's like that is not the crowd for this.
No,
yeah, you need something a little bit more niche because you're already niche. Like, Clerks is, it's for fucking cinephiles.
There were some shows where like I'm trying to figure out like remember Duckman? Duckman was one of those shows where like, oh, fuck Jason Alexander. I think was the one that did the voice behind. That was an odd show, man.
The Critic.
What was that one show where it was all claymation and it was so oh my god.
Moral.
Do what?
Oh man, yeah. That's the ones.
No,
like,
it was
Christmas movies.
Oh my god, dude! Every time I saw it, it was like, dude, this.
They got away with a lot of shit, man. I'm like, I can't believe they just got away with that.
Oh, yeah. It's not the one I'm thinking of, but Celebrity Deathmatch. If you guys remember that.
Oh yeah, I used to. Dude, I have the soundtrack. It's like one of the few Manson films I actually like.
Oh, I remember when the TMNT came out in 2012. That's when I was like watching Nickelodeon like religiously, and I'm like, okay, this looks cool.
Came out in 1989.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like 2012.
Yeah,
like
Kung Fu Panda, Legends of Awesomeness at that point. Yeah.
Even though it's not animated, whenever they would show Power Rangers, I was just on that like white on rice. Like the new series, like the new.
And you know what? And you know what's interesting with like Nickelodeon shows? Like, of course, I love my SpongeBob, my Avatar, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron.
Yes.
But actually, some of my personal favorite Nickelodeon shows were all the game shows: Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts, Double Dare, Figure It Out.
I remember Double Dare, man. That shit was.
John Noonan, he actually entered to join on Double Dare. He almost got on the show when he was a kid.
Oh man, that would have been sweet.
Yeah, that was like a big dream of his.
You need to sign a waiver, right, to handle all that slime about the
slime, eggs, and whatever they throw at you. Nickelodeon, when I was growing up, was still forming, so we had all sorts of strange shows on there.
A lot of Canadian shows that they were putting here for the first time. I mean,
Fire Under the Mountain, Children of the Stones. That was actually there was. I read an article about that because it was one of those where you remember something from your childhood. It's like I remember like just images.
Yeah.
And I started going on a deep dive. Like I know it was on Nickelodeon because I could see the logo and. I found it. It was like, yeah. And then the articles that popped up, it's like the scariest kids show ever made. And it was this
that
80s
sounds
show.
Way scarier than Children of the Corn.
It was like time travel and sorcery, and people died in it. Like it was like it. Well, Nickelodeon, like they hadn't branded themselves as specifically a kids network at that point, and it was, kind of like an access, cable channel. Like who's got programming that we can buy? And I think it wasn't until like you can't do that on television. That became kind of a flagship program. It's like, okay, more like this. But
it's like Netflix before they had all these original shows. Like they would just
there it is, yeah.
Resources,
Yeah.
Was Goosebumps ever on Nickelodeon?
Who?
Like the Goosebumps like TV show? Was that on Nickelodeon?
No, we had Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yep. That was one of those
kids around a campfire telling stories, like that came out around the same time as Tales from the Crypt on HBO. So I feel like they were trying to give the kids their version. Like, and by that point, I was like, no, Tales from the Crypt is the shit. I will watch this forever.
Yeah, I was already spoiled by that.
I haven't watched that in a feels like forever. Oh my god, I might have to watch that.
The Tales from the Crypt is like I think one of the best series in terms of like horror series ever.
Mm-hmm.
To this day,
I remember watching a couple episodes. I legit wouldn't sleep for like 2 days.
But there was always like that it was that same vein as like Creepshow, like where it was tongue in cheek. It had that comic book vibe because it was based on the Tales from the Crypt comic, Vault of Horror, all that shit. And for me, like stuff like that and Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, like that was kind of a big gateway into horror for me because like, it's kind of funny too. And that kind of, flipped the switch there. I was like, okay, this is all fake and it stays out of my fucking head when I go to sleep. And then it became like just a gore hound. And Tales from the Crypt, fucking amazing. And all the guest stars they had on there, like they got some great fucking actors in there and occasionally musicians. I know, like, I think Roger Daltrey was like the main character in one.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He was already famous by then, but they had other actors before anybody knew who the hell they were.
Yeah, Joe Palantino. He was the one that had the 9 lives, the cat's gland put in his like the back of his head, and he was like doing death acts in the circus and shit.
The
Demi Moore one was pretty freaky, man.
Which one was
it? The one with Demi Moore. She was I think she ended up. It was like a butcher. I think she ended up marrying a butcher, and she ended up what the hell was it? Because it was so long ago, but I remember that one being pretty freaky. And she ended up winning the lottery or something. The guy ended up killing her.
God, it's been a while since
some of those kind of ironic twists. That's the thing about.
I can remember. I'm just now remembering that one episode of Duck Dodgers where Megadeth appeared.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, they played back in the day.
Yeah,
dude. Oh my god. Dave Ness never looked better
in a microwave.
Form.
The one with the twins that were connected, and one of them commits murder, and they're like all hesitant about getting separated because they like shared a vital organ or something like that, and the one kills like the one that the other one's in love with, and it's like we both go to jail now, and then you see him get wheeled off to the side. It's like, no, while you were passed out, I got the surgery. Bye.
Wow.
Yeah, Tales of the Crypt was brilliant.
They have done something like that on a few shows I've watched. Speaking of Evil Dead, real quick, have you seen that new Evil Dead movie, Nick? Evil Dead Rise?
No. See, I lost I heard a lot of stuff about the remake, and I didn't want to bother with it because part of the charm of the first one was its unintentional silliness. Like, it's still scary to a degree, but the fact that they unintentionally made
Sam Raimi had no money. It's like
and for like the lack of fundage, they did some really clever shots and like pretty decent special effects. But Evil Dead 2 pretty much just saying, all right, people were laughing in the theaters. I have an idea. Let's give them a reason to laugh, but let's also ramp up this gore and make it just so over the top. That became like the big appeal for me.
And you could see what the hell is it? Bruce Campbell's confidence, like just immediately just level up. Like,
dude, his charisma was as big as his chin.
The crimson chin,
dude. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like I don't really, like the newer Evil Dead stuff, minus the series. The series was pretty fucking good.
Oh, that over the.
I've seen a little bit of Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's
it's good. Really good. But yeah, like when they try to take that too seriously and take out that over the top sort of absurdness of it, it becomes any other horror movie.
That's why the remakes don't work. Like you were just saying, like it loses some of that essence, that the was had.
You could go through Netflix and find a fuck ton of like demonic possession movies, and you would definitely get.
They never get those right. They never do. Except for probably a couple, like The Exorcist. The Exorcist, yeah, the first one's good. But I think, in my personal opinion, I think Exorcist 3 is the better movie.
I love Exorcist 3. I think it is absolutely brilliant. It's not as good as
very much.
Brad Dourif as the Gemini Killer, I can listen to him forever.
And George C. Scott.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw it, trust me, it's a great movie.
The only thing I don't get is how is Father Karras alive in that movie?
Because the demon possessed him and then pulled in the spirit of the Gemini Killer, and that kept Karras alive. So yeah,
I know, but the way the dude freaking did a fucking plunge off a flight of steps, and you can clearly see him dead.
Satan heals bones and shit. All right, come on.
Come on, give the man a rest.
No.
Healing factor for like a second while all this is happening.
Yeah, Pazuzu was pissed. He pulled him out. I was like, dude, I was in Reagan. I was fine. We were good. I was barfing pea soup everywhere. It was awesome. And then I get yanked out and I get stuck in a fucking priest. Are you kidding? This is bullshit. I'm going to make this dude's life hell. By the way, give me this killer spirit too. This is going to be fun. I like that. You got George C. Scott, just commanding people with his presence.
When you have to think too hard about what's going on, like that's when you start to lose your, direction of. It's like I feel like the Poltergeist movies were the first one, and by the time you got to the other sequel, it's like there's too much going on here. Like, what the hell is happening?
The third one.
I acknowledge the first one. I don't acknowledge any other.
The second one's all right. Well, except for how they handled the monster. Like it was based on some awesome, designs again by Geiger, but they did not make it look very cool. Unfortunately, like they tried to hide it as much as possible, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The second one's all right. I mean, it's got the whole barfing scene where the creature comes crawling out.
H.R. Giger's done like way better movies. Aliens. Hell, I'd take Alien Resurrection over Poltergeist too. Sue me.
Oh God! And I just remembered probably the worst horror movie I've ever seen, and it's also probably the worst movie I've seen. Period. I highly doubt any of you guys have seen it. ATM.
Ass to mouth.
I'd be better than this.
Google search that I'm going to get something different.
Oh God, ATM. It was a 2012 movie. It had Brian Garrod. I forget how you even pronounce his last name. Garrodity.
Angry Crotch.
And Josh Peck. Josh Peck. And literally that whole movie is just them and a chick trapped in an ATM with some fucking hooded dude sitting outside his car stalking them. And they freaking try to get out through the roof of the ATM. And all but one of them dies. And the freaking hooded guy frames the survivor for his crime, sends him to prison. It's like, what the hell is this? Like, I saw it while I was working back when I used to work at my local golf course. It was just me and another coworker in there that day, and we had that on TV, and we saw this, and at the end, we looked at each other. We were like, what the hell did we just watch? It was bad. Don't even bother. It is so bad.
I've seen some pretty bad movies, including sequels. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, that may be the worst sequel to a crossover I've ever seen. That movie's terrible.
It's so dark.
That's what it was on paper. It sounded like it was.
There's a dude that lights a lighter and you can barely deflects any light. Like, okay. And I hate that I mentioned this too. That movie is the first ever horror movie I've ever seen. I was 9, and that one scene where the chick gets impregnated by the pred alien while the chick is in labor, I'm like, wow, cool. This is the coolest thing in the world. And then like watching it again, I'm like, oh my lord,
that's how babies are made.
That's how French kissing is.
Yeah, no, I mean that kind of. Minus the part.
It sucks too because I like the first AVP movie. The only thing I can really change is more character development with the other characters and give it an R rating. That's literally all I could say.
Paul W.S. Anderson has made one good movie, and it's not that one. It's Event Horizon. Everything else he's put out.
I thought that was
everything even the first Resident Evil is like it's okay. But the only legit awesome movie he's made was that one, and it tanked. But I love that.
I'm trying to think of other bad horror movies. Oh God, what was
The Exorcist Part 2.
Do what?
The Exorcist Part 2. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yes, Heretic.
Oh yeah, dude. Richard Burton at peak alcoholism.
If you have a locust fetish, boy, do we have a movie for you.
I remember one movie I saw years ago. I think it was Cabin Fever, and I had no idea what it was. I put it on.
Oh God!
Fuck, man.
Yeah, no, when the blonde chick's face starts falling off. I mean, I got to give him props to the special effects and everything. It's the sequels they started doing afterwards. Like, there's no need.
Spring Break was terrible. We begin the Ty West movies of failure. There, the one part that it's so terrible, it's laughable, where the one chick takes her top off and her nip showing and she has the disease all over her titties. It's so disgusting, but it's kind of hilarious. And there's a scene where this one dude's having sex with this fat chick and all of a sudden she starts puking up the virus.
That's the that's the sequel, right?
That's Spring Break.
Yeah. Now I skipped that one. I saw the first one and was like, this ain't bad. It's not terrible. It's a different
reason. As a concept, just the execution is terrible.
Well, I mean, the viral outbreak thing, I think really started hitting around that because you actually had
the anthrax virus.
Well, I mean, you had the one with Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow's Patient Zero and.
Oh yeah, Cabin Fever, Patient Zero. Yes. Was
it Patient Zero?
Patient Zero, yes.
Well, no. I'm talking about the one with Matt Damon and his wife dies from a horrible flu, and then the whole world.
20 weeks later.
No, I think it's called Pandemic.
Oh, Birdemic?
No, not God. That movie sucks.
They made 3 movies of that, by the way. They made 3 Birdemic movies.
God, what was that one? Yeah, hold on here. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
What's some other bad ones? The Black Christmas movie from 2019. That was terrible. The first movie's great. I love that first movie.
Contagion.
Oh, Contagion? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Good movie.
But yeah, Black Christmas 2019. Like, I love the first movie. The first movie's an underrated gem, in my opinion. 06 remake's okay. It's just too gross. Though the women in there are hot, I will admit. Okay.
The first one really set a good standard for slasher movies. Like that was probably more the prototype in a way than like Halloween. I think that one came out first.
No, Black Christmas came out. Did it come out in 74? Did it?
All right, here, I'll look it up. I'm reasonably sure it came out before Halloween.
Because Halloween came out in 78. I think Black Christmas came out in 74.
Really bad when it comes to dates.
74 was Black Christmas.
Yeah, then 78 was Halloween, yeah. Well, I don't really consider Halloween a slasher, quote-unquote, because it's mainly a thriller. Because Michael doesn't go on a massive killing spree. I mean, he does in the beginning, but that's more tension-based.
Well, it's still a slasher, because you got the guy in the mask slashing people. Like, I think that's a slasher. Like, yeah, he's not as, like, brutal as, like, say, Jason Voorhees.
The pacing is a little slower and kind of the development.
It's very Hitchcock inspired, like akin to Psycho.
Yeah.
The sequels later on. I mean, I like a few of the sequels, but oh god, they have nothing compared to the original, in my opinion.
Wait, I'm actually getting a little sleepy here.
Same here.
I literally got off work like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys who stuck around through this 3.5 hour madness. But who knows when the next time I'll do one of these.
First time seeing you.
Yeah, it's been a while, Rick.
Don't buy penis enlargement pills.
On that note, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Catch all you guys later.